Round 16 of the Adelaide Footy League is upon us, and the Brighton Bombers, we're here at Brighton Oval today. Of course, I'm Indiana Rogers and I'm joined by Tim Peely, and the Brighton Bombers fighting to keep their finals chances alive, but they'll be doing it undermanned, as we know. Welcome, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Indy. We're very well protected up here on the grandstand at Brighton Oval at the moment while the rain's trickling down.
Yes, this will be a very fancy game. The Brighton Bombers are coming up against the top two, Prince Alfred Old Collegians Football Club. We know what type of damage they can do. Jaden Davis, a leading goal kicker in the competition, followed pretty closely as well by the efforts of some of their other forward crop. They've got some of the best kickers and best on-ballers in the league, but even they will be without key players today. Craig Pitt coaching from the bench, not out there on the field, so no clipboard out on the field today. And Chris Curran also not playing, but of course they've still got Mitch Wicks and Jack Trangrove and Mackenzie Silly and others who can contribute on the ball. It is it's a wet day here at Brighton Oval as well. We've had some showers this morning and in the early afternoon. The rain should be easing off, and multiple sirens have gone. I reckon we got about 8 buzzers in the last minute, Tim.
Trying to get the players out of their warm-up here. So PAC were very late coming onto the field, Indy, as we noticed, and Brighton were very, very early coming out onto the field. Probably acclimatising their 3 debutants that are representing the Brighton Football Club today.
Yeah, and they're making their way into positions now as the home team. They're going to have to do this match without Nigel Osborne, Aaron Warner, no Murphy, no Dixon. There's some key outs, and also Damien Gary, a late out. Rory O'Connell, number 13, will be coming in for him instead. So they're going to have to cause an upset of the year, really, if they want to keep their finals chances alive today. And, well, some spectators have pretty much said that this is a game just to reload, to finish strong in the last 2 rounds, but they might not have that luxury if they want to make the finals. Of course, they definitely won't be getting relegated, and this could just be a precursor for what's to come next year, but this will be a testament to their depth. Also, an update on the Div 1 reserves results. It was 14 points to 112, a 98-point win to the visiting Prince Alfred reserves team. In fact, they actually kept their opposition goalless for the first 3 quarters and a half, I reckon, so quite impressive. But you're with Tim Peely and Indiana Rogers for round 16 Adelaide Footy League action. Thank you to Make Sure and Ratify, Archie Thongs, Dartfish, Banner Crew, Farmers Leap, and all of our sponsors for the day that make our coverage possible, as well as Sportal, our official scoreboard sponsor. We've got timekeeping, we've got the scores, and we've got the footy set to come right in front of us. Opening bounce underway, or opening throw up, I should say. It'd be impossible to bounce it on that pig pen in the middle of the ground. One of the most difficult grounds to play on based on ground conditions. It's torrential out there, almost like a minefield. There's more mud out there than a monster truck derby. Brighton cleared out of the defence. Goes past one contest, and then getting goal side another. Thomas Wellesby got off his man and just got the kick off in time, but it's hooking, and maybe took too much time, but maybe he didn't take enough.
I think he was a little bit slippery underfoot there. As he went to take off after picking up the ball, he actually just couldn't get that grip and that rhythm to get into a flow to have a long shot. And he held onto it too long as he got tackled just as he kicked it.
So Mackenzie Slee now from fullback. They'll need cleaner forward conversions than that to get the job done, although that was nice transition from the defensive half at the least. And here's an intercept effort. Wasn't paid, but it won't matter. It'll be thumped forward by Finlay Bennett. Goes forward, crumbing it. Francis, and getting caught with his hands in the cookie jar. Once again, a great defensive effort from Prince Alfred. We see that a lot this year, Tim.
Oh, look, they're very strong in defence. They're well disciplined. This is where I want to see what they do now, because they're looking, they go long out of defence, down the line on the outer side there. It sneaks over the back of the pack, and a mark taken, slipped in the hands of Josh Perks. He plays on quickly, lead up down the wing, finds his man. He looks inward now, exactly what they do all the time. Switches the ball directly to the centre of the ground. It's either dangerous or it comes off. Mitch Wicks goes through his hands. Big Hayden Jolly bends down to pick it up, plays good wet weather footy with a soccer off the ground. Fortuitously into the hands of a Prince Alfred player, gets tackled, slings it wide, and now Brighton have got a bit of momentum with a loose ball. But no, caught back again. Princes over to Luke McCauley, chips it wide. Harvey Jolly, here we go, looks up. He looks forward to the centre again, just over the top of the head. One-on-one, stands there, head over the ball. Good stuff there. Bend down, picks it up, quick kick in the air. Now here we go. One-on-one, used his body beautifully. Does Lucas Schultz. Tackled, drags it back in. The umpire says, no effort to get rid of it there, son. I'm going to pay you holding the ball. And Brighton very quickly pick up the ball. Kick short, go wide. Jarman Segal kicks it. He looks wider again. And it's marked by Harrison. No, it got spoiled and it's out of bounds. Harrison Boyle. On the half-forward flank left, in front of our grandstand here, heading towards Prince Alfred College, heading that way. Boundary throw-in. Boundary throw-in, throws up. Big Tozer at the back. Taken by... Here we go, hang on. Down, along the ground. Fumbling ball. Brighton picking the ball up at the back. Soccer off the ground. It's a rush soccer off the ground there by the Brighton player. Pushed it through for a behind. And the first score on the board is a rush behind by Prince Alfred College.
So first score of the game to the visiting team, which most would have expected, although right now it's a decent 50-50 contest. Turnovers from both teams in the middle of the ground. And Tayden Jolly, the king of wet weather football, might be a key to this match. Out on the far wing with a bit of a sidestep. That was Carlton. Going forward. Oh, almost taken without it. Jaden Davis. He put his hands up hoping for something, but a minor score's all that came out of it. So now with the kick in, the Brighton Bombers finding themselves under a bit of pressure. They had a nice transition from defensive 50 to forward 50 earlier in the day. They'll go far now. That was a very nicely placed kick. The mark will be paid to Jarman Segal, who knows how to push up the ground when required. He had a bit of a blunder earlier where he kicked it barely 10 metres and it got spoiled over. He's actually going to get the ball back here because he didn't commit to his mark. Finds an uncontested teammate. The forward options building towards the far side. The bit of a southern blowing wind, so it shouldn't really be gluing it to that side of the ground for the most part. But now with the ball in hand, Mackenzie Darling. And a very nice conversion into the forward 50. Jared Miller now with the first set shot for the game. Big opportunity here. He'll be kicking from the lacrosse club pocket end of the oval. So the forward options today probably key. I mean, we talk about the on-ball matchup. I reckon they've held up so far from stoppages, but players like this might not come very frequently. But that's why the conversion will have to be clean. That one looks like it's missed to the near side, so must have been hooked a bit. First score of the game for the Brighton Bombers. Both teams yet to kick a goal.
Jolly picks up the ball, quickly goes short to Trengove. Trengove looks wide. They've got it outside 50. Held him up nicely there. I think the next kick goes down the line. Here he goes. Long down line to the wing. Ruckman's good sprawl from behind. Punches it out of bounds. Ball dead on the outer wing here. 50-50 ball at the moment. 2 points to 1 point. Players are evening up all across the field here. They're man on man at the moment. Doesn't seem to be anything out of the way. Big Tozer in the ruck up against Jared Duthie. Tozer punches it forward, down front. Jack Francis runs to the ball, goes out of bounds again. Not a lot happening here. Both teams just feeling each other out here, Indy, at the moment. Just getting a bit of a feel. A couple of switches here from players in the back lines, matching up on better positions. Other than that, I think they're just sizing each other up at the moment.
Well, Jake Tarker, hero up forward back in round 8, is playing a bit in the defence at the moment, so keep an eye on that.
Okay, Tozer, big sling right around and sort of gets the ball, firm tackle, brings him backward. Umpire says, nope, slipped a bit high there, and there's a kick, free kick to Prince Alfred. I reckon it's Big Tozer. He looks back, one step kick, lead into the pocket, stands there, chopped his arms, but he got it beautifully. Josh Perks takes the mark. He would be 45 out, scoreboard pocket. Got a player running past him. He says, no, I'm not going to give it to you. He's going to go back. He looks very deliberate here. He's even put the ball on the ground. Players, stop leading. I'm having a shot. The wind, I'm not sure, Indy, whether there's a breeze either way. It seems like the wind has changed a little bit. The rain was gripping once. It was floating in from the side. This will give us an indication of which way it's going. 45 out, gives it a lot of air. It sits up, it floats across the goals into the left-hand forward pocket and over the back and out of bounds into the forward pocket. No score. Josh Perks Tried to take ownership of that himself. Didn't quite get there. Bandage throw in. Forward pocket. Princes set up. A lot of defence there for Brighton. A couple of loose players. Tapped over the back. Big clearance there by the Brighton pack. Down, but it's going to be a wall of Prince Alfred players. What do? Off the ground. A great kick forward by Brighton. Only into the hands of Luke McCauley, who steadies, looks short, chips. Only to a player out in front. Gets the hand over the back. Mitch Wicks gets it. Goes backwards again. Who's he find? Mackenzie Slee, forward, kicks a bit of a check side, forward, big hands at the front, Trengove drops it down. Great pick up by the Brighton player, only to have it smothered in the hands, turns backwards, hands sideways out, long sleeve player there, looks, settles, kicks long and wide, he should go over, no, umpire pays out a great mark there too. 39, Matthew Mazzini, right in front of our commentary box.
So Mazzini
goes short.
Mazzini made the late number change as well. Normally known for wearing number 15, but wearing number 39 today. Here's Jolly. He's a hard nut to beat, especially on a wet day like this. His presence is always very necessary. Just needs that wrecking ball factor to smash certain contests. But it's been spoiled over the line here, so it'll be thrown in from the back pocket. We've got a couple players starting to mount up a little bit, this defensive blockade and barrier that Prince Alfred have been known for, and it's definitely been a defensive match in the early stages. Of course, it'll be about how much Brighton can hold it up for, because, well, quarter time they were very much in the game last week, but unfortunately everything after that continued to fade out, and, well, now with the additional challenge of not having the leg speed of Osborne and Warner and all of those valuable players as well. Here's Mazzini again, good intercept. Gets it to a teammate. McNamara, the skipper, to the one-on-one. Oh, very nice positioning there. I tell you what, that was Bastian, I reckon, who just managed to keep his footing and didn't lose his sight. After a bit of dilemma, juggling with teammates, that's a very awkward spinning ball, and it goes nowhere. It's Mazzini again. He's taken a couple of intercept marks in this last minute or two. They slow it up within the dead centre of the ground. Corridor's starting to get blocked up, so they might have to refer out wide instead to Tom Sumner. He's got to really make an effort to pick up that ball. Oh, umpire was very generous towards him. So now it goes forward, almost to the tip of the square. And what a contested mark that was. Signature play from a key forward. Just knows how to keep himself composed, and almost had to balance that out while also timing his jump. I reckon that's main mark of a key forward isn't just about how contested your marks are, but the timing of your jumps and knowing how to balance that out. And it's not actually taken by a key forward, it's taken by Jack Traingrove, who only spends minimal time up there. He stood supreme in the pack. It's conversion. Right on point, kept it low, didn't try to do anything too fancy. He's got the opening goal of the game.
Yeah, very, very smart kick there. Slippery conditions, just found his settled feet, stabbed it low, punched it through nicely. Really good escape here on the half-forward flank here by the back line of Prince Alfred, because Wellesley, smart as he was, just decided to run forward. He had 50 metres all to himself. But that's the game. It's hit or miss. You take that challenge, you didn't quite get out the back. So, first goal of the game to Princes. We're back into the middle. Conditions are ready for score both ends, so there's no real favouritism to a side kicking either way. Oh, we've got Tozer in the ruck, back against Jared Duthie, back in the centre. Let's see what happens here. Perks has gone into the middle. Harrison Boyle's in the middle. Yeah, Tozer taps forward onto the run. Beautifully tapped on there from Andrew Bradley. Gets ridden into the ground. Umpire says, lets it go. Quick hands. He's looking. Gets tackled from behind. Hurried kick forward. Good scoop. Backed up again. Runs past Oscar Clark. Runs onto the left. Snaps it around. Scores it through for a point. Really good set play that coming out of the centre there.
Long sleeve Brighton player taking the kick in and kicking into an incredibly dangerous spot. That's not where you want to turn it over, although Andrew Bradley didn't try too hard to get down and dirty to pick up that ball. I reckon they're happy with the stoppage. So we're just taking a look now. It's a ball up just within the forward 50 arc for Prince Alfred. Doing the ruck work there was Kobe Tozer, who's a bit of a new addition, of course, that Central District's reserves player. A very tall presence. Brighton have managed to get it out here. The long kick off of the right foot goes towards the pocket. Wellesby, no. the defender with front positioning and took it with one hand as well. That's Mazzini again. He's having a fantastic opening quarter. He'd probably be liking the new number as well. I reckon teammates are wondering, who's that guy? I haven't seen him before. He's enjoying playing that undercover defensive role right now, although that's not the best kick. He hit the hot spot. Segal tried to rush it back out. Mazzini again, but this time Welsby's got him. He wrestled him up well. Carthy socketed off the deck and unfortunately overstretched the kick just a little bit. Prince Alfred will play it safe for the moment. Charlton. They want to get a switch on here. They've got a free man to do it. Sumner runs out his man. He won't have to worry about getting chased down, but oh, tell you what, was that Mackenzie Sleed just didn't look like he wanted to put full effort into that one because he could tell the ball wasn't going to hit him in time. Oh, dangerous. I reckon that's called marking front on contact
Ricky
infringement. So Ricky O'Loughlin looks forward, decides to go high. Risky proposition because that Prince Alfred defense just knows how to position themselves for those high balls, as shown there by Charlton. They might want to get a switch on again. This time if they can keep it clean. In fact, they looked at the corridor, but it was smothered instead. Now a goal attempt from the smother would be something special, but it's missed everything.
And gone out of bounds. It's gone into the cricket nets, unfortunately. What a great turnover that was to smother that ball and have a shot on goal, only to spin it wide. All right, so we're into the back pocket for Prince Alfred, right in front of the cricket nets here. All players are in the front half of the ground at this very moment. They're trying to crab the ball, but he has to go long. That's what Brighton want. A couple of leaps. Very good mark. Lucas Schultz made that his own, led hard, 2 grabs, that's the way to do it. Looks inward, goes short, over the head of Josh Perks. Fumbled. Brighton player comes in, takes the smack across the chops. Jack Francis, he's 50 out, players are leading, he thinks he's too far. Just sets it up to the lead, it's over his head, over the back. Dylan Draper, the ruckman, lets it roll out. And have he got a hand on it? The umpire says, no, you didn't. So it's a kick back in, last touch rule. Get back over your mark, the umpire says. He wants to switch, now he gets there, runs across the face of goals. Wants to open up the field to a player. O'Loughlin gets there, but no, good mark there by Mackenzie Slee on the outing. Looks inward straight away, switches it beautifully to Joshua Garrels. Garrels takes the mark on halfback. Looks, the run, player runs past, sells the dummy, goes short again. Here's the kick, the handball, the link, tries to scratch him, well tackled, gets it back to him. Lachlan McNamara looks, goes long, fires at goal, goes through for a point. Fantastic transition from one end to the other there, Indy.
Yeah, and just the finish from McNamara could have been a little bit sharper. He definitely had the journey, but I don't reckon that wind coming from the south is too strong, so it shouldn't really be a 2-3 goal difference. In fact, I'd say it won't be, but right now the transition game will be the difference. So Brighton with another opportunity to prove themselves here, but they've done the opposite. In fact, Oscar Clark with the ball in hand now. Looks towards the centre. Centre half forward, a completely vacant teammate presents. It's Joshua Garrels. One of their more dangerous forward options this year as well. And Brighton have only got 1 score on the scoreboard, but probably should have 3 or 4 scores based on the way they've been able to lock it in the forward half. But in this instance, it's a turnover from the defensive half that this score will be coming from. Gets some really nice right to left action on that one. And that puts all of the worries to bed. Prince Alfred hit back again.
Again, a nice kick. Sounded really good off the foot. Kept it low, just punched it through. Some good movement there from Prince Alfred, especially through their foot skills, which has been an evident part of their game. They look low, they don't try and go down the line too much, even though they've got good marks, but they're switching and they're manning up. Is going to have to be something that Brighton are aware of. Big Tozer comes off the bench for the centre bounce. That seems to be a bit of a tactic. He's going to take a lot of the centre bounces and then just get off the ground and let the more nimble players run around and do the field kicking. What do we got? Otis Carthy's in the centre. We need something from him. Brighton are going to need his strength in the middle. Good tap down, good jump by Jared Duthie. Gets his hands to it first. Gives O'Loughlin first chance. Carthy then gets the ball. Tackles hard. He's a very good player in there, in and under. That's what we like to see. That's going to make him back in the game. Ruckman. Tozer, left hand. Jolly, left foot. Kicks it forward. Beautiful clearance. Fantastic read. Josh Garrett gets the ball, falls to his knees, gets the hands over. Trengove gets the ball over to Lucas Schultz, kicks low, didn't quite make the distance. 2 players in the goal square, tumble for it, and he gets punched through for another behind. Prince Alfred, 2 goals, 5. Brighton 1 point. And Brighton quickly play on, out back.
17 and a half minutes gone. Time running out to get that opening goal. Keep in mind their reserves team took until the 4th quarter to get there first, so hopefully their counterparts can speed things up a little bit. Long kick down the far side wing. That's going to demand the pack. Almost a bit of in the back infringement there from someone who left a bit early, but it's actually come out Brighton's way. Wellesby, he's got to work around Mazzini. Doesn't quite do that, but he's got support on the outside. He had a bit of run to work with. Oh, hit the post. O'Loughlin, so close. He's had a couple of almost moments already in this game. Here's Jolly from fullback. He's got a man on his own. Oh, getting there quick, but not in time. Jared Miller as Charlick takes the mark. Plays it safe with a short kick. Finds Macaulay. And he'll go back for 1-2 essentially by foot with Charlick. One of the muddier patches at the Oval. Once again, playing it safe with the short kicks, and you can afford to do that in the late stages of this quarter. It's red time, so almost into the time on stage, although not quite yet, is Kobe Tozer, that big inclusion, both figuratively and literally like we talked about. Oh, and had to take it on the second bite there, but Jack Traingrove with the mark, goes a little bit deeper. Found an even more prominent option, which I reckon that could be Jaden Davis, although I'll take a closer look as he's just lining up for a set shot now. It was nice and selfless from Jack Traingrove, but it was good pinpoint delivery as well. In fact, it's Oscar Clark who will be taking the set shot. So fair angle to work with, fair distance to work with. Down in the scoreboard end flank.
He's in no hurry, Indy, I'll tell you.
No, absolutely not. They've got the lead and they've got most of the momentum at the moment, although Brighton haven't played too poorly on their own, but it's conversions like this that the opposition just can't stop. As soon as the set shot's taken, all that matters is the execution. And once again, they come to play.
It is an absolute factor of their play. They get the ball from half back and they go short, on the angle. They're looking for the loop, the player they're running past to try and break the lines. Whereas the bigger guys from Brighton are going down the line thinking they're going to kick long, and it's just not happening. So they need to change that up and alter that for the second quarter. Look, they're getting first hand in the ball with Big Tozer at the moment, and they're getting it out of the centre with a quick kick. So this is where they have to do it. They pulled Dylan Draper into the ruck for Brighton now. Let's see if he can get his hand up over the top. Jumps high, but Tozer still gets it. Here we go. That is Jake Tarker in the centre. Kicks it out wide. Get a hand to it, Ricky. Ricky has slipped then on the carpet and he's gone straight into the coach's box, unfortunately. As he tried to, right on the boundary line, then knock the ball back in, his feet slipped on the carpet here on the boundary line. And then basically he's saying, umpires then just conferred, did he touch it in time? And the answer is yes. So boundary throw in right in front of our commentary box. Lovely throw in. Draper against Tozer. Draper takes front position. Cardi hands in. Bit of ping pong and volleyball played here. Tozer, good wet weather football. Soccer off the ground. Playing in front. Brighton player. 2 blokes tackled in. Gets the kick away quickly. Otis Carthy tries to keep it in and runs it over the line, which is a good result for Brighton out of bounds. Half forward flank. Left hand side for Prince Alfred. Everyone manning up here very carefully. Tozer takes front position this time as Draper got in. Right hand. Draper over the top. Carthy and Jolly. That's a good tattle. Gets his boot away to that. Don't know how. Taps the ball out of bounds. And here we are. Moved a little bit further forward on the wing.
So 21 and a half minutes gone. We're now down into red time. 0 goals 2 playing 3 goals 5. 2:35 Australian Central Standard Time. Oh, that was a bit of a flick from Bradley. I reckon the umpire was willing to give the green light to that. It was just enough of a basic flick action. Here's Wildman wearing the number 5 today, normally worn by Chris Curran, but he couldn't actually bring his own jumper today. He was in a bit of a hurry. Everyone's on a tight schedule, especially towards this end of the season. Is Jarman Segal. Far end of the ground, scoreboard pocket, goes long, a bit of shoving infringement there. Brighton will retain possession of the ball. Can they use it wisely? They want to get a bit of a handball chain going. They dash through a couple defenders, now coming through Boyle. Deep into the forward line, but Sumner completely disposed of Wellesby. In fact, was that Mazzini or Sumner? I can't quite tell. Well, no matter who it is, he's got a 25-metre penalty. I reckon Wellesby wasn't too happy with the result of coming off second best, so back it comes. They won't play to advantage here. They've done really well defensively, Prince Alfred. Yes, they've outscored their opposition, but here is Mazzini, so that was Sumner. He goes out wide. Wicks didn't mark it. It's anyone's ball to win. Taka came dashing through. Too fast to keep possession. Slee goes out wide. And I reckon it's just up. Somehow managed to get the ball into the forward 50. Looming over at Oscar Clark, but not taking possession. Bradley didn't want to bend down too far either. Now dashing through a couple, almost getting through the blockade was McNamara, and he's one of the few that could have done it, and taking a low percentage shot and only coming out with a minor score to show for it. Prince Alfred looked really hot in that passage.
It was, but they're running in numbers, so they've got the ball going their way at the moment. Another point, 3-6. Still keeping Brighton in the game at this stage. If they can sneak down and grab one right now, it'll be a good result for them. Not much longer to go though, but 9 scoring shots to 2 tells the tale at this moment. Okay, Jack Plenty, Brighton on the left foot, kicks out wide. Takes it on the first bounce, gets the scoop, tries to handball as he slips over on the wet grass out there. Well tackled by the Prince Alfred player. Now Pye says, give it to me. On the outer flank, right over on the other side, scoreboard flank. At the 4-minute mark of the first quarter here. Umpire throws it up. Tozer tries a big swipe, knocks it forward. Picked up by Burl, but bundled over the boundary line again, straight in front of the ball. 2 minutes 25 remaining in the quarter. So now it's a matter of, can Brighton hold off and stop another score? That would be the only thing they're trying to do at this stage. Tozer takes it, handball, straight out the front. Trengove looks, has the shot to the right hand side. Another point. Brighton will very, very luckily staying in the game here. 3-7 to 2 points.
Well, to be fair, the ones Prince Alfred are missing are some of the more low percentage shots. I don't think there's been any howlers so far in terms of easy shots gone wayward. So you can at least credit that to the defence limiting their options and not giving them the easy corridor run-throughs, although there's a player like Jolly there who just manages to mongrel it in, and Jack Trango finds himself all on his own, and even more so Oscar Clark. Well, that's one of the few times they probably did open up and give them the easier options. So you'd reckon Oscar Clark could convert this, albeit with a fair angle to be tested by.
His last kick was a beauty, so if he does that again, low and hard, it'll be where we need to be.
They've had valuable assets at both ends of the ground and both forward 50 arcs. Oscar Clark for a second. Converts true. Goal number 4 for Prince Alfred, and they've kept their opposition goalless so far in this first quarter. Not much time left.
Yeah, not long to go. Brighton couldn't have really afford to let that one slip, but Hayden Jolly got the ball over the back. Just a little kick over 3 or 4 players, lands in the hand of Jack Trengove, who played on immediately, looked inward, found Oscar Clark. They're very smart, Prince Alfred. They're very good with their ball use. They're clever. I remember coming down the other end when Brighton kicked one of their points. Hayden Jolly had already set him up 45 metres out straight in front for the quick play on when he picked up the ball. They're smart, these guys. They're well drilled. Okay, not long to go. Let's see if we can hold on here. Draper up against, running through the middle. Jolly, exactly what I said. Tried to get on his boot, just dribbles sideways. Tozer, big fella, fights after it. Cardi all over him. Says you're not going anywhere and keeps him holding the ball. Very unlucky, I thought, but he did slide on the ball and drag it in, so I'll give that to Yumpy. Otis Carthy, Brighton captain, needs to lift, looks, needs to know the time. Long, down, wide. Oh, good try, Draper. Good try, Wellesby. Well spoilt. And again, players hold it up. Let's see how they set up. Ball in the air. Trozer over the back. Here we go. Blake Higgins gets a quick kick forward at the back. Has to be now or never. Lots of players back there from Princes trying to scramble the ball out wide. Hands, beautiful run out the back there. I reckon that's Mackenzie Slee looking outside. Josh Garrels gets the ball but fumbles at the left foot. Over the back, takes the mark. Plays on straight away. Blue boots, kicks it off his shin. Finds Big Tozer. Running, keeps running. Looking Tozer. Mackenzie Slee that was. Looks inwards. Cuts it off. Carthy needs to move fast. The siren's about to go. Oh, looks wide. Don't reckon he took that mark right at the end there. Jared Miller came off the hands of the big ruckman that got back there in Kobe Tozer. But as we hit quarter time, 4-7, Prince Alfred to 2 points, Brighton.
And we'll take a break, but quarter time at Brighton Oval, and we'll be back for the second quarter. Welcome back to Brighton Oval, round 16 of the Adelaide Footy League. You hear the siren go again there. 0 goals, 2-2 to 4-7, 31. It's a 29-point lead to Prince Alfred, and they've come out very convincing off of an already convincing performance, of course, against Old Iggy's, although that would probably be more routine exercise for them. This game, a legitimate challenge against an albeit undermanned and injury-plagued Brighton team, still playing to keep their finals chances alive. Well, look, they're trailing by 29 points, but I don't actually think Brighton played too bad, Tim.
Oh, look, they played with what they had to do. When you don't have the ball, you really can't play very well. But if you look at the percentage and maybe the stats in that quarter, I would assume, and without having the stats in front of me right now, that Prince Alfred had a lot of the ball. They really did. And their kick, foot, mark was just fantastic. And they had total control throughout the day. So Brighton have got to get them on the changeover. They're trying to slow the game down and keep control, so they've got to turn it into a frantic game and try and beat them one-on-one.
Yeah, and there'll have to be a big structural change, I reckon, although I don't want them to over-defend if I was looking from a Brighton perspective. And Prince Alfred, I think it's probably more of just what we saw, to be honest, their transition game. And Brighton are a pretty good man-to-man team, but they did manage to catch them with a couple uncontested options up forward. And ultimately, the only goals that were conceded were some of the higher percentage shots, so they've done a good job to limit them to lower percentage shots, hence why they're only 4 goals 7 on the board and not 7 goals 4, for example. But
it could be much uglier than that. If that was 7 goals 4, this game's over in one quarter, Indy, as you say. So,
well, Brighton, to be completely fair, have managed to come from the clouds in certain games this year, and we don't see too many comebacks from margins like 29 points, but you only had to go off of the climate change from the major level coming down to see that 5 goals no longer guarantees you a game of football. In fact, 7 goals minimum, I reckon, and even then, you wouldn't be overly convinced until your team's 7 goals up with about 5 minutes to go in the fourth. And if it's three-quarter time, or if it's especially quarter time right now, nothing is guaranteed. So Brighton will have to defy all odds to win this game still, of course. We know with that injury a block, but
so they've done it already. Straight into the middle is Harrison Boyle, Jake Tarker and Otis Carthy, the captain. You've got Dylan Draker, their first ruck. They've gone in there, they know it's straight out of the centre, they have to get the ball. So all guns are blazing right now, and if they can't do it there, it's going to be the second rucks that can have to do it. Man on man's the way to go for Brighton at this stage for probably the first 10 minutes of this game. They're just going to have to beat them one-on-one, because at the moment they're picking a hole in every kick they've got. There's a mismatch here, there's a loose man. So Brighton are starting with a loose man in defence at this stage, which means let's see what Prince Alfred do with the loose man at their end as well. Rucks go up. Ball hits straight down the ground. O'Loughlin runs through, little toe poke off the ground, really well done. Oh, and he nearly had it, but he pushed the man over, and then Carty followed through with a kick off the ground. So they got what they wanted. They won the centre bounce, and they got it through the middle, but not their way.
Well, now they've held it up defensively, which has allowed for Brighton to at least set up for this next passage of play. Mackenzie Slee got the ball in half back. Let's see what they do. Do they kick long? No, they go sideways, keep control of the ball. Now, where's the little 45 angle small kick? No, goes long down the line. 2 on 1, big jump, big pack. Ball hits the ground, Draper picks it up, gets tackled, but gets his kick away beautifully there. Brighton player then switches the ball into the centre of the ground. Campbell Wildman flies. There's Tarker. What a great strong grab man in front. Immediately gets up, swings onto his left, switches the ball out wide. Jack Plenty, the fullback, the long sleeve, left foot, beautiful kick. Hits Jared Miller on a long lead out. Just depends whether Miller now wants to kick that. He's looking, he's turned, he said, yep, I'll take responsibility, men. We played that really well. By foot, Indy, they hit every target then, and that's the game right there. And we have Miller, 45 out, 45-degree angle. Great play, Brighton. Good start to the last quarter. Jared Miller, a good kick. That's just about distance for me. Won't be accuracy. And I've said it exactly the wrong way. He has smashed it out of bounds on the full and put it into the back fence. So it wasn't about distance, it was about accuracy. Commentators curse, Indy. Oh, that was an awkward helicopter-type drop punt, which we see a couple of those sometimes, but you don't want it with your set shots. Not a reliable routine. So coming out now, from full back, going towards the pocket. Here's Charlick, assessing the options. A couple of fans building up around Prince Alfred's bench, so we can't hear them from where we are, but there's quite a few in number. Charlton, also slowing up. Brighton have done a good job to form a blockade up the ground to limit their options. Pack forms, no one comes out with the mark. Oh, Jake Tarker almost got a second bite to it, but wasn't paid the ultimate prize. Instead it will be a ball up on the wing. Interchange side wing and broadcasting side wing as well. Live streaming all the Adelaide Footy League games every round, don't forget that. Tarker across the ball, did a good job, snapped it out. Had superior position there, managed to get it out. Boyle lost it, and he was actually slung a bit, so a bit of confusion there with the dangerous tackle interpretation. Once again, Chris Broadbent tries to get a switch on. It was slow, but positioned well enough to the point it didn't matter. Scott Nerlich goes long. And jumping too early there, and it was infringement call anyway, going against Brighton. But it was an intercept mark nonetheless, so Mazzini once again will have it. He's probably been one of the best for Prince Alfred in this game so far. We've seen his fingerprints all over the Sharon. They use the corridor. One-on-one. Oh, almost had goal side there. Tyson Brazel. There's a whistle. I think that whistle was actually coming from the lacrosse oval, so nothing to see here. Oh, big tackle there, and actually paid holding the ball. Going the other way, that's a bit surprising. I reckon 2 players tackled quite viciously there. It almost could have been pushing the back. I don't think that would have been holding the ball.
Bit tough. He only bent down to pick it up. As soon as he grabbed it, he got ridden into the ground there. So a bit unlucky.
So is this Jolly? Just trying to verify. I reckon it might be.
Josh Perks? I can't see.
Josh Perks or Jolly, one of the two. A man whose identity is yet to be revealed, but what will be revealed to us is his kicking style.
That's Perks.
And he might actually kick this one from right on the line of the arc. So that's going to have to carry the full 50. Pack forms. And waiting at the back end of it, unmanned, that was Josh Perks. Goal side, completely uncontested in the goal square. That was a great goal.
That was Lucas Schultz that kicked it in.
So Lucas Schultz, the delivery man, and the finisher, Josh Perks.
Oh, Brighton had all the play then, started well, and then I just love the transition that Prince Alfred have from half-back moving forward. Occasionally they have to go long, they set up well, they love the short ball, they hit their targets. But when it is long, they set up at the front, they set up to the side, they set up for the spoil, they know what's coming, and they're there to crumb, and they crumb a goal this time. So they're kicking goals in more different directions. Back in the centre, this is where Brighton need to get the clearance, to get some ascendancy. Good tap down by Draker, Cardi and Tarka. Tarka picks it up. Slippery slope, flips over. Cardi, left foot, kicks forward, going back with the ball. Really strong mark there. Lachlan Charlton, done very well across half-back. See that? Short, one-step kick. Lead up, Lachlan McNamara, the captain. All the Brighton players have got a man now, so they're aware of the short switch. Here he is, even though he's got him, he's found another one. Mackenzie Slee takes the mark. Where's the next one? They're looking. Find a man, Brighton. Find a man. Don't just point. Find a man. Slee plays on. Rolls, kicks, slides, sideways. Tarka runs at it hard, gets both hands to it. Spoiled. Down. Picked up. Picked up by Harrison Boyle. Kicks long, tall. Gets over the back of... Oh, beautiful game. Matthew Mazzini gets back. Just loose man, but one step back into the centre of the ground. Quick hands over to Lockie Charlton. He looks, puts it out into space, and Trengove running onto it. Out in front, Jordan Bastian plays in front of his man. Tyson Brazel hasn't touched the ball yet at this stage. Long sleeve, plenty, hands. See it coming to his way. Kicks out wide, misses his man. This is going to be important. Does he get there before it goes out of bounds? Yes, it is. Tarka picks it up. Carries the man. Beautiful kick down the line. O'Loughlin, both hands to it. Campbell Wildman gets underneath Lachlan, shepherding him off the ball because he knew Tozer was there to pick it up. The umpire says, no, not fair. Take the free kick.
They need a goal. They need it fast. Ricky O'Loughlin. Not much time to waste now. They don't want to continue delaying that wait for the next goal, but they've turned it over in the middle. It'll come back Prince Alfred's way, but they themselves couldn't find a clean conversion. It might boomerang back to them, though. Another wayward kick down the wing, marked by Tozer. Looks inward, finds Charlton. They had a vacant man in the corridor temporarily. A clever hand pass over the top, and a couple men stretching to the outside. Mazzini involved in that play once again. The forward conversion taken by Brazel, who's down there, and the mark to Jack Trangrove. He's been playing a lot more time up the ground today, Jack Trangrove. In fact, I reckon he might even be playing a bit of a third forward role.
So Jack didn't play last week against Old Iggy's. Him and Hayden Jolly were both rested, so he's coming back in. So I'm guessing they're probably just giving him a freshen up as they fit 2 weeks out before finals.
Yeah, freshen up the legs, and that's all they really need to do at this stage, because Jack Trangrove's already proven pretty well what he's capable of. This would be for his second goal. So showing a bit of versatility in this match so far, although not showing his best there. Just a minor score.
Heavy ball there, dropped, kick, hook to his left. So Play on quickly. Looks, gains that extra couple of yards, left foot, salutes wide, high hands, out the back. Picked up by Prince's big hands, toes are out wide again. There's Trengove. Unfortunately, doesn't get anywhere, tries to kick it off the ground. The umpire says you got hold of him. As while he's trying to kick it, held on too long, picks up the ball, one-step kick, finds him short, holds him up nicely. Brighton player pushes him back, one-step kick, finds him short. Andrew Bradley goes back. Couple of players leading, two-step kick, drops it out wide. Well done, Otis Carthy. Oh, umpire, no. Player was running backwards then, spoilt the ball. How can that be too high? He's played him too high. That's a football accident, I'm afraid.
Who's it going towards?
It's a free kick to Prince's bloke because Carthy was spoiling the ball and just landed over him and
see, that's really
smashed him into the ground.
Because Otis Carthy was actually just trying to attack the ball. He did not take his eyes off of it and he went for the spoil. That is, wow, that's just an incorrect decision. And
I'm pretty sure the umpire's paying 25 because the Brighton players are not happy with that decision.
Oh, no. Well, that's to the you've done it wrong both ways. The initial call was wrong and then the dissent was wrong. I saw a lot of this in the Port Districts and Tea Tree Gully game last week. Yes, some controversial calls, but unfortunately the dissent following it, you've got to keep class, and that's really unfortunate. That's a unsatisfying play to watch, but the goal is there. And the actual goal kicker we're trying to get a look at, Tim and I both leaning all the way over towards the front of the desk, so we might even fall off the balcony at this stage. Just asking for a turnaround, runners checking on him, and he seemed to be all right from there. I reckon it's Jaden Davis, because I saw a 19, and it is.
Look, we're not here to be critical of umpires. That wasn't a good one, but we'll move on. Brighton players have also got to let it go now. It's just one of those things. Call it as you see it. That's the way it goes. We're back into the centre. Tozer back against Jared Duthie. Duthie jumps. Tozer had the big swing, misses. Back in the centre, the mud. Finlay Bennett tries for the tackle, gets it over the hand, held on to him too long. There's the free kick. You're in the mud there, get out of the mud. That's it. Takes a left foot out wide. Good hands. Finds Harrison Boyle. He plays on straight away. Didn't worry about going back. Knew he was too far out. Tried to gain those extra couple of yards, but misses to the near post. But once again, quick kick forward, quick mark, quick goal. Quick point, should I say. Brighton, 3 points, haven't yet hit the majors.
So some slow transition, quickly turning very fast now. Bradley on the far side. Here's Davis. He made a lead up. He's far up the ground. He's got Tozer deeper down if he wants to use him. He played it safer, went with a shorter option. They're really starting to crawl in on Tozer. Deepest option down there is Brazel, who's pushed all the way down. Dangerous kick into the middle. Doesn't work to plan. Now Brighton, through some clever hand passing, get it out to a kicker. It's going to depend on the bounce and also the attack on the ball. But look at that, the composure. Take a bow, but not yet for Charlie because he keeps going. And he finds a valuable option. The pack almost formed up forward, almost didn't have time to. Traingrove's down there. He was out-positioned in the end. Brighton might just get out of trouble, but they've got to stretch the kick first. The kick goes to the wrong hands. Here's Wicks. He looks into the middle of the ground. Luke McCauley, dead centre of it. Played it safe. Went with the chip to Charlick. And he's willing to slow up. So now it's given time for the Brighton defenders to get back into prime position. Making a front lead there, but not getting clean hands to it was Oster Clark. Big tackle. Called holding the ball, and that's exactly what the fans up here in the stands wanted. They're still anxious to see their team get their first goal. Right now in the hands of Chris Broadbent. He's got a bit of mud on the number, but that showcases the effort he's been putting in to really get down to the turf. And, well,
Campbell Wildman picks his pocket there. He just sat that up beautifully.
That was a dangerous one. And finishing off, Campbell Wildman only with a minus score. Could have been a huge, costly penalty, but that's an ugly turnover.
He absolutely told everyone what he was going to do then. You can see it happening. Wildman just sat back, waited. And as soon as he kicked it, ran in front of him, got his hands to it and picked his pocket. Play on. Brighton player, left foot, goes short. No, misses the targets on the ground. Bend down, pick it up. Riley Davis, back to Wildman. Over to Charlton again, gets the hands over to it, or he gets thumped. Very strong tackle, but a little bit too strong. Mackenzie Darling on debut decided to make himself felt there. Went into Josh Perks, got pushed him fair square in the back. He looks sideways, goes short, one-step kick. Jolly in the centre, in the mud. Everyone down behind the ball at the moment. Kicks longer this time, goes wide. Front on contact. Oh, Lucas Schultz stood there. Player just went at him, took his hands away from him. Pays the free kick, Lucas Schultz. How far out? 50 yards out, too far. Everyone leading everywhere. He looks, he sets it up. He decides to centre the ball. It's a helicopter. Man in front. Carthy gives a little bit of a nudge to the side. Handball to Boyle. Looks, was going to go long. Saw there was no one there. Chucked it on the head of Thomas Wellesby and got interfered with as the player jumped over him. Wellesby on a half-back flank, usually fall forward, goes short, finds a man on the outer flank. Wellesby now needs to run forward because he is their main target up front. Stuck, not sure what to do. Decisions to make, looks, one-step kick, goes over the head of Carthy. Did he touch it? Yes, out of bounds on the wing. And there's the tale of the two teams. Indy, I think the set play and the forward planning for Princes when they go forward is there. And then when Brighton have got the ball, they're not 100% sure on their next movement.
Still just a little bit too reliant on Thomas Wellesby, as we've really got lots and lots of fans piling in at Brighton Oval. We forgot to mention it's Ladies' Day here at Brighton Oval as well, so congratulations to all the women who contribute their efforts to the game and the community involved, including all the officials and volunteers. That's a good mark and almost a push in the back infringement, but umpire said it was a legal contest. That kick was very dangerous though. It stumbles over the boundary line as we hit close to the 15-minute mark at the second quarter, and unfortunately Brighton's A-grade team looking a little bit like their B-grade, because tell you what, it's very difficult to find that first goal right now, and they're no closer to it in this position of the ground as well. Half-forward flank for the Princes. They look all the goods at the moment and look like they're just ready for the finals. This is simply routine stuff at the moment. Jolly, a mongrel kick from a magnificent contest, and the finish could be coming from an unlikely source in an unlikely fashion, but it won't. Joshua Garrell's admirable effort, ultimately though, a bit futile.
6 goals, 10, 16 scoring shots to 3. The game is one-dimensional at the moment. Brighton have got to find their way through this. And the way to do it is how they did at the start of the second quarter, with some good, long, accurate, wide space kicking. All right, Jack Plenty kicking in from full-back. Takes a couple of yards, smashes the ball left foot, beautiful kick. Finds his fellow player in long sleeves out there on the back flank. Kicks long down the line, here we go. Out of straight over the back, taking a mark. Princess looks straight away. Hang on, what's happened here? Umpire's given a 25-metre penalty. I reckon it was a bit of descent for the pushover. Gets the ball back in again. Looks, left foot, nope, bring it back, sir. Umpire's bringing it back. All right. Looking, get one-step kick, short player, Lucas Schultz. Looking, this time he rolls, kicks longer on the lead, cuts across, well played. Brighton player, good defence, good hands, out wide, finds Addison Don't, finds Wellesby in a back pocket, not going to kick many goals back there. Gets kicked and thrown to the ground after he kicks it. Umpire says nothing in that. Out of bounds on the full, good pressure, Prince Alfred, even in defence. Out of bounds right in front of the grandstand, right in front of our commentary box. He looks, doesn't look down the line. Short kick, 45-degree angle. Charlton, short kick, 45-degree, quick hands. Jolly running past on the left, finds the player. He looks, right foot snap, and it's straight through the play. Oh my goodness, Indy, how well was that played? They're out here on the wing. They go straight into the centre, hit a target, hit a target, hit a target, loose ball, snaps for goal, straight through. Well played, Prince Alfred. 7 goals, 10, 2 3 points.
Who's the goal kicker there? We're still trying to figure that out, so keeping eyes peeled, and it might have been Schultz. It must have been.
He's the one getting high fives, so that's who it looks like.
Well, you know, there's two men involved in a high five, so you got to think about who gets the most. But this is starting to turn into a little bit of a nightmare first half for the Brighton Bombers now. They're still searching for their first goal, and Well, they deserve. Well, they need one because a lot of the spectators up here, the faithful here for Brighton's Ladies' Day, probably deserve a goal or two just to get the fans up a bit, because they're all out here on the balcony, full volume, and they haven't really got too much to cheer about at the moment. That's going to be called high infringement. Charlton from half back finds Jolly. So it went forward temporarily there, but not far and not effectively. It was a bit of a mongrel kick from Jolly, although his teammate Charlie had quite a bit of time, almost too much time to clean it up. Went with the 1-2, goes forward, looked down the corridor. Oh, the defenders for Brighton got in each other's way. And now Jack Traingrove, the task was simple from there. Through the defensive confusion, only needed to kick straight and low. Finds a prominent option. Is this Jaden Davis again or Brazel?
Brazel.
It is Brazel. Partners in crime, of course, those two key forwards, and Brazel's still got to hit the scoreboard today.
The experience of Trengove there, he was clear, he was 40 out, he could have had a shot, thinking spray it to a point. Brazel knew straight away, quick lead, hit him on the chest.
All that's left is the finish, and this will arguably be their easiest set shot of the day. Don't take too many marks at that stage, although he didn't get anywhere near the man on the mark because he didn't have to. He's more than confident in it. Of course, Simpillion was giving me a glaring look.
Commentator's curse there.
Through my words there, but I was confident enough in it, and so was he. Tyson Brazel with his first goal. Prince Alfred dominating the play. They are ready for finals, and Brighton might have to say goodbye to those finals hopes if they can't compose a miracle comeback from here. They have made it a monumental task. It's almost 20 minutes gone now, practically doubling their score from the first quarter. It's spelling trouble everywhere for Brighton, but obviously working with an undermanned midfield, they're making as much as they can out of what was initially already a challenging situation. What a big tackle that was in the middle from Kobe Tozer. Ball still comes out, a bit of a bump off the ball there, and that was on Kobe Tozer. He looked at like he was almost knocked out cold, although the runners come out checking, and he's not getting up in a hurry. He's rolling over a bit, but he hasn't found any balance in his footing. He doesn't look like feeling the opportunity to get up. The runners will go straight to him. So that was a bit of a bump off the ball there. Looked like it was taken, I mean, it almost looked shoulder to shoulder, but I reckon it must have copped a bit of the cheekbone, maybe even the forehead, because it wasn't a particularly pretty bump.
Well, Nerlich stopped straight away and bent down to apologise. I think it was just a good attack on the ball. It might have clipped him high. Tozer working.
Well, it's good when they apologise immediately, but it was also mature from the Prince Alfred players around him to not try and remonstrate or start a spot fire or a beef, because it doesn't help situations like that. So credit to players involved with that, and obviously the bump will be looked at, but it was unfortunate, but no malice in it in my opinion. Kobe Tozer will be coming off now. He's back on his feet, so that's the good news. I don't know if they have to go through a mandatory concussion test in the Adelaide Footy League, but
he's looking a little dozy.
Yeah, just a bit groggy, not walking too fast. He'll happily take a bit of a spell on the interchange bench at the moment just to get a bit of adrenaline back into him, drink a bit of Gatorade or water and just replenish himself to get his head back in the right place to go back out there. But they've got so many tall options at the moment that I don't think they need to panic too much about their ruck options. He's been very good today though, Kobe Tozer. Hasn't gotten frequent opportunities with Prince Alfred, but they've asked for him to help with their finals campaign, and well, let's hope that that doesn't disrupt too much about what he can offer for Prince Alfred.
So we've had a long delay. Let's watch what happens here. Player coming from the back line running past. Is the short kick going to happen? No, he has to go long. It's been dead play. Kicks into the man on the mark. Player runs through Jolly, slips it over Mackenzie's sleeve, doesn't get there. Carthy kicks it out wide, but that beautiful bouncing ball of ours that goes sideways at times. Lachlan Charlton again off half back, left foot, chips him out wide. Gee, they're good by foot. They are very good by foot. Trengove just picks up the ball. He looks, I'd be leading to him, smacks it in low and hard. There you go. Strong mark.
What are the problems?
Lachlan McNamara?
That's Davis. That's Davis.
Is it?
That is Jaden Davis who took the mark.
Okay, can't see that far.
But, it's just another example of when you play man-on-man defence, one of the disadvantages is that you could sometimes get soaked into focusing too much on your opponent's movements and not enough on reading the ball and breaking away when you see that opening opportunity. So Brighton haven't had the ability to punish from turnovers in the same way that Prince Alfred do, and that's one of the benefits of having a zone or flood style structure. Maybe the flood might be time to call. So here's Davis now, taking the set shot.
Davis, he's a lefty, kicks, punches it, swifts across to the right-hand side for a point. Hasn't hit the scoreboard yet. Well, he has. He's got 1 goal, but he's kicked a point. 8 goals, 11.
Only multi-goal kicker for the game, Oscar Clark at the moment with 2. No goal kickers for Brighton, and it might stay that way by the end of the first half, reminiscent of what the reserves team went through earlier in the day, taking an unlikely set shot there. In fact, it was almost just a bit of a light ping from Oscar Clark there. He could have had a third if he just put a little bit more beef into that kick, because a couple more extra metres, the accuracy was there. And that turnover mostly just happened completely unnoticed from Brighton's defence. So you could tell that they're really starting to open up now. They tried a bit more risky, tried to go down the corridor, but it's come right back. That was a very hot tackle, too hot in fact. It's caught the player high. Joshua Garrels will be taking this set shot, you believe, over to the 24-minute mark now. Half-time siren looming, 3 points to 60. He doesn't take the set shot, he tries to hand it off. There were Brighton players everywhere. A snap-around attempt that's just chipped the post from Josh Perks. And we'll tell you what, the scoreboard damage is bad, but it could have been even worse with a couple missed opportunities. That's 8 goals, 13 now for Prince Alfred.
The whole ground is pushed up in the forward half. Brighton cannot get past their half-forward line or the half-back line of Prince's. So he kicks short, there's players everywhere, he's taken the mark, they're all pointing at him saying, have a shot, have a shot, have a shot, because there's just no room to move anywhere.
Riley Davis this is.
Riley Davis has got the ball. He is 40 metres out, so it's a matter of these set shots could really punch this forward. Don't know if he looks as confident as whatever I'm saying, but looks confident, sets it up. Drifts to the right-hand side again, not spoilt through by the Brighton players. You've got to get that through out of bounds. Someone's got to fist that over the boundary line. That can't come forward like it did then. But rugby scrum tackled over the boundary line, right next to the point post, in the forward pocket where the cricket nets are here at Brighton Oval. Prince Alfred pushing, boundary. Trengove jumps in the ruck, takes it out the front. Boyle, beautiful hands over the top. Chris Broadbent's got the run of the ball, handball over to Plenty, over the top, stops, goes backwards now. Finds, I think that's Blake Higgins, kicks long and high. Is there anyone there? Yes, there is. Tarka, 1 step, kicks, puts it out in the front of the run. Stops, no he doesn't, kicks again. Jared Miller, 1-on-1, here we go. That's how you spoil a ball over the boundary line. I reckon that was Mackenzie Slee. Huge spoil. Jared Miller, and it is out of bounds, but that's good movement by Brighton to get the ball from one end to the other where they hit targets and move quickly. If they're slow, gave time for Princes to get back, and they didn't as we even the ball up.
Not much time left in this quarter. Is there enough time though for one more sneaky goal to finally get Brighton on the board? 47 seconds is the word from the timekeepers, as someone tried to take a snapping attempt from the stoppage, although it's gone out wide just over the boundary line. And I reckon when you get a little bit shaken up by the scoreboard deficit, sometimes you struggle to get the basic things right, which is why it took so long for them to get out of the defence. In fact, I reckon it's just because Prince Alfred would be expecting half-time to come pretty soon themselves at this stage. Tarka did a good tackle there, managed to balance his man out without swinging him into the ground.
Come on, Brighton, let's get it done. Punch it out wide.
Oh, don't put the Brighton beanie on yet, Tim Pillion. We've got to commentate a game. We don't want to put the lens on the other way. In fact, that's a holding the ball call, so attempt to try and trap it didn't work too well either. Prince Alfred will get a late switch. They'll keep their composure. They won't dare risk the ball's possession. Wicks hands it over to a player on top. They spread out to the far side wing. Wicks has got it back, but the siren will beat him. The mark will not be paid to the dismay of Lachlan McNamara. He was hoping to get a late shot there, and he actually would have had the leg for it, I reckon, amongst all of Prince Alfred's players. But now it's half-time, and Brighton Bombers, well, they've got a huge mountain to climb out there to keep their finals hopes alive. Is there anything left in them this year? It's 0 goals 3 points without a goal for the Brighton Bombers to 8 goals 13-61, a 58-point lead to Prince Alfred. I'm Indiana Rogers, and you're tuning in to both myself and Tim Pillion for the Adelaide Footy League Round 16 live stream at Brighton Oval. It's Ladies' Day here, 58-point game. We'll take a break and be back with you for the second half. signs to the rest of the competition ahead of their upcoming finals campaign. You reckon they're going to make another consecutive grand final effort? Tim Pillion shaking at the sound of that siren. It stutters him every time. In fact, it's right below us, so not sure how much it picks up on the microphone, but, well, is there anything that they can really do to save this game, Brighton, to save their season? 58 points down, what's the mentality now?
Right now, if you look at the Dartfish stats, Prince Alfred have got all the ball. They've got total control of the game. They've got all the stats, the marks, the kicks, the handballs, the possessions. They've got everything. Brighton can't get their hands on the ball. And if you can't get their hands on the ball, you can't move forward, you can't transition the ball. So it just comes down to the fact they've got to man up and beat their players one by one. Because they're zoning, they're standing off, they're trying to cover space. It's not working because by foot at the moment, Prince Alfred are going at high 80%. They're not missing targets at all. A couple have gone over the back and that's about it. But they really just have to man up and play side by side their men.
Well, they tell you not to panic when you concede a couple of consecutive goals, but even more so when you don't actually address that issue and you probably focus too much within the uncontested play and your own brain. You don't really know how to address what the opposition ends up dishing up. So, wow, 58 points, season on the line and pretty much right on the canvas at the moment for the Brighton Bombers. There isn't too much hope to come out of this game and, well, they're depleted. They need reinforcements, but more importantly, they need a plan B. What can they muster up in this second half?
Toes are back in the ruck.
That's good to see.
Tarka.
Early signs for Tarka as he's the one to clear it out, but once again a one-on-one contest lost and dashing through, getting it back to Tozer in the middle, the hand passing chain with Jolly who kept his eyes peeled and wow, that is just far too easy in the end.
That run off the halfback by Charlton then was fantastic. Tack on the ball and he just ran past three Brighton players who didn't lay a tackle. Handballed it over to Jolly lace out. Two.
Far too easy going straight down the spine, and I reckon it's the type of play like that that might signal that the coach would want to try more flood tactics at this stage, because chaos ball might at least be a way to slow down the current onslaught that is being put up by Prince Alfred. Davis sets sail, strikes true, gets his second goal.
Wow, by foot they're not missing a target by hand or by foot. It really is tough and good play by them. Let's not hold it against them. They're doing really, really well. And it's a great prime for them. They love these conditions. If you go back to the Prince Alfred ground, Indy, when we were, commentating out there, they love that muddy centre ground, grit on the ball, slippery conditions of the big bodies there. So Tozer got his hand on that beautifully then. Jake Tarker in the middle, Otis Carthy in the middle, Harrison Boyle in the middle. They've got big Dylan Draper in the middle. This is their best four, so let's see what they can do. They've got to do something about it now.
Going back into play.
Boyle.
Cleared out from the centre. Harrison Boyle. Once again trying to change things up in the on-ball mix, but those hack clearances aren't going to do any good because Prince Alfred have the slingshot play off of half-back, although on this conversion they get a bit lucky because they misconverted. Otis Carthy out of the wing, that looks like. He launches, goes to the flank, hits a man, that's Jarman Segal, I think, and he hits Jack Francis. He's got an opportunity here as well to at least get them on the board. Unfortunately, they can't really contemplate, is it low percentage shot, is it high percentage shot? It's a shot, and they haven't got very many in this game, so this is the chance now to convert. Didn't take the full run up, but almost sidestepped a bit. Goes to the line. Wellesby was at the front, didn't take the mark, and ended about as I'd expect with a throw-in.
Yeah, nice fumble and a spoil to the outer side. So boundary throw-in, left-hand side pocket, Brighton's forward pocket. Opportunity for Brighton. I want them on the board. Come on, let's barrack for them.
Oh, can't barrack for them, Tim. We've got to be neutral commentators.
I want to get them a goal. Come on. Hey, here we go. Over the back, Tarka would bend up, Lachlan McNamara, good attack on the ball, spins his body around, left foot, back, forward pocket, all waiting behind the ball there, Prince Alfred. Takes the mark, switches the ball to the other side. Cameron Pritchard plays on, left foot, looks low and hard, finds Riley Davis, slides down, gets the ball. Now, what are they going to do? One step, short kick, there's the lead, drop play. William Charlick dropped the ball, tackled, thrown off it, gets it back. Quick kick out there by Riley Davis out of bounds.
Well, to be fair to Charlie, he dropped the initial mark and Brighton didn't even really punish that much. They've gone back in quickly here. Something could change in quick fashion, but it will just be a ball up instead. Back to you, Tim.
Bit high. Umpire says no. Had his head over the ball, you came in front on and tackled him too high. Unfortunate. Jordan Bastion there, just a little bit clumsy, but doesn't matter. He looks, it's going to be a one step, it's going to be short, or he's going to go long. They forced him long, that's what they want, Brighton. 3 on 2 here. Ruckman gets the spoil. Hands again over the sweeping play. Addison Doak looks again wider, finds Mackenzie Darling. So the two newbies, debutants, side by side on the left foot, kicks to space, hits the ground, but Princes are there to defend, hits his target again. Hands running past Campbell Wildman. Little short, great smother there by Jack Plenty. Well done, that's what they need. A few more one percenters to keep him in the game in that regard. Out of bounds on the outer wing, Indy.
Outer wing it is. Plenty of cars parked in the background, although probably not too many watching from the cars. It's not quite country footy standards or even standards of that Flinders Stadium that South Adelaide like to play at. Oh, smother attempt on the hand pass, stopped the traffic very quickly. Now we'll go the other way. Decided to not use Traingrove, went to Jolly Jolly, went to Traingrove. And once again, just the pinpoint delivery forward. Those short kicks, there is a moment. That was David. Not worried too much about the scoreboard at the moment, mostly just enjoying the experience at hand, and we've got a lot of people outdoors at the moment. I reckon the players will want to get to the stands after the game as well. It almost looks like they're probably thinking more about that now than the game at hand, unfortunately. Whoever it was taking that shot, which I do believe was McNamara, has missed. It's only a minor score, takes it up to 9 goals 14. It is a 65-point lead to Prince Alfred.
Yeah, they've missed a lot of set shots today. Scoreboard could be a lot more damaging than what it is, but let's keep it going. Look at the forward pocket there, no one. He plays on, he runs to the other side. He's going to kick it to a one-on-one here. He's kicking it to Taka, that's why. Taka beautifully positioned himself under the ball with Josh Garrels one-on-one. Takes the mark, short kick, Otis Carthy. One step, looks. Harrison Boyle runs under the ball, gets a little tap under. Great tackle. A little bit high there for Boyle, ducked his head, umpire said. Coyote just pushes him aside, has one hand on the ball, picks it up now, and the umpire says, mine, thanks. Good play there, that's what they've done, isolated some play. Umpire throws the ball up, Tozer against Draper. Tozer punches the ball out wide. First person to it will be Garrels, and Taka taken out of bounds. Out of bounds in front of the clubhouse here at Brighton Oval. No rain to speak of at the moment, heavily overcast, good footy conditions. Boundary throw in Tozer and Draper. Jostling for front position, both knock it forward. Ricky O'Loughlin reads it best, keeps it in front of him. Boyle gets the ball, handles sideways. O'Loughlin, great barrelling through there. Andrew Bradley, strong body over the ball, picks it up, pushes him aside and says, I'll take it out of bounds, and we'll have another throw in. Boundary umpire feeling the air in the ball there, thinking it's a little bit flat. Throws it in, nice throw in. Front position, Bradley running through, little loop over the top to Trengo, that's beautiful. His kick, the delivery, both players slip over, the fullback gets hands to it, nups it down over the top, gets his handball back, Plenty again, who's he got, slips over, still gets his handball away. Oh, they're all slipping over in that pocket, it's very slippery down there, the mud. Pulling up a few divots there, and I reckon it's either Jack Francis in that point, he's hurt himself when he slipped over there, but he's got up. And we're out of bounds again in that forward pocket.
It's deep down there. will be an interesting one to analyse, because I reckon Prince Alfred have just slowed up a little bit for the moment and are focusing more on the defensive blockade. It's not about winning every consecutive stoppage, and it's actually the mark of a good team is that they haven't relied on centre clearance wins today, and they've actually allowed Brighton to try and play to those centre clearances, which almost lulls them into a false sense of confidence in some ways. Traingrove at this stoppage, grabs it, managed to get it to a teammate, maybe the wrong one. That was Garrels under immediate pressure. It's going to come out Brighton's way. Ball stretched to the far side of the ground, running onto it. Looked like Francis. It goes forward for Brighton. Opportunity once again gone missing. Charlton from centre half back. They waste no time trying to stretch it back out to the far side wing. Jolly. Well, it was a mispresented hand pass, and Jolly had to try and make the best of a bad situation there. Through the corridor, taking a bounce, trying to go himself in the end. Higgins played it a bit safer. Went to Ricky O'Loughlin. Their first goal of the game. Goal umpire's on the line. How does he judge it? Oh, he judges it a goal. Finally, the fans up in the stand have something to cheer about. There was a lot of anticipation around that one, Tim, because everyone holding their breath just to see what the goal umpire would say. And even if it didn't make the full roost, I think the goal umpire realised the status at the stand was demanding it.
Oh, I reckon he had 3 decisions there before he gave it a goal. He wasn't sure. It was touch and go. Let's face it, they're hard calls. But well done, Brighton. Great to see you on the board. Had a very good kick there by Ricky O'Loughlin to take ownership and take charge of that. But he had players lining up either side of him there. But oh, fantastic to see the scoreboard with Prince's 9 goals 14 to Brighton 1 goals 3. We're back into the centre. Draper against Lucas Schultz. Handball out the centre. Harrison Boyle over to Cardi. Cardi looks long forward, drifting back with the ball, taking a chest mark. Fantastic mark. The Brighton player handballs off. Who's that? Miller running past. Miller rolls around on the right foot, kicks it. And the umpire says 2 goals in 2 minutes. Well played. And well done to Brighton to kick 2 goals in 2 minutes. Now the difference there is, I reckon, Tozer didn't go into the ruck, and basically young Josh Garrels went into the ruck. Draper got his hand over the top, Boyle got the handball out, they got the centre clearance, took the mark, rolled out and kicked the goal. So they might be trying something different, or they're giving a few players a rest.
Well, they can afford to do that now because it's purely consolation prizes for the fans' sake at this stage. It's not really for the game. But
Lucas Schultz, rucking.
In more literal terms, you could say it's for the benefit of the finals. Rucking there, that was Doothy for Brighton, who hasn't been winning many of the contests today. Returning to their good defensive half play, Macaulay hammers it out, electing the bump there, and that was an illegal bump. I reckon that was more shoulder to shoulder. That's a little bit stiff there. Ultimately, Blake Higgins pays the price for something which of indecisiveness on if that was... Well, thankfully they didn't give away a 25-metre, mind you, which in normal instances they would after a controversial call. Jarman Segal stood supreme. Here's Ricky O'Loughlin. Kicked the first goal for Brighton. They've got 2 in the quarter, 2 in the last couple of minutes, but he put himself under a needless amount of pressure, and his man is forced to run the ball over to the line. And, well, they made a bit of a mess of that play, unfortunately, because they could have built some clever transition and gotten it back down into the other end and looked for a 3rd consecutive goal.
Out of bounds, half forward line for Princes. Both second rucks in the play right now. Doesn't matter, that's what the game's about. And here we go. Big pick up. Carthy gets his foot to the ball, but it's drifting wider. And it goes out of bounds on the full. What's he doing here? Umpires can't see what's going on here. No, he's made him get over his man on the mark, but he's run backwards that far. Kicked the ball back to Cameron Pritchard. Trying to open up the game here. It's way too clouded at the moment, and Princes want to open the game up. a shot, went over the back, bounced through for a goal. They have kicked 3 goals in 5 minutes.
Where was this play earlier in the game?
Well,
I hope they didn't start late. It seems like the team has only just arrived.
Tozer's back on.
Oh, managed to fend off a tackle nicely there. That was really nicely done from Boyle. They'll get it through the middle of the ground through Carthy, who bombs it into the forward line, but the contest runs loose and Prince Alfred once again prepared with the run. They got the corridor, the transition's looking good, the forward entry not as pretty. So instead from half back, Brighton just looking to build a bit of momentum here. Wellesby, who's come out to the near side. He's contemplating handing off to a man, decides not to do so. He decided to work around the man on the mark instead and go himself. Forward conversion, it was 2-on-2. Crash and bash, no one took the mark. And that was called an incorrect disposal, but umpires didn't think anything of it. The fans did. Wellesby sidestepped, contradictory to what happened earlier on, and that was a really nice intercept there. Blake Higgins decides to go back. They regress a bit of territory before spreading out a bit wider. They're looking for a 4th consecutive goal. That's the intent. Once again, sidestepping the man on the mark, just keeping Prince Alfred chasing, but that's a ugly forward conversion. That's not what you would have wanted to complement a bit of build-up that was just starting to really take shape. Here's Campbell Wildman for Prince Alfred. Off of half-back, finds Jolly. He looks inward, told to go because he stepped off his mark, but had some compensation, had a man to refer to. So we're about 15 and a half minutes gone in the 3rd quarter, and somehow Brighton have actually won the quarter itself. Fortunately, no shows in the first half, but they've also no shows here. No one manning up this score attempt, but it's gone all the way out of bounds on the full. I reckon just a bit of a blaze at the attempt there.
Had a man standing in the goal square by himself then, so that's not a good part.
In fact, that's Davies, who's really unhappy with the result.
The game's opened up here, Indy. All of a sudden there's pace in the game. There's people running everywhere. It's opened up. They've spread the game out. The game's open. They're running like crazy. And that's what happens when you get your tail up and kick 3 goals in a row. They're running, they're having a go. And all of a sudden, after that little purple patch where Prince has put the cue in the rack for a couple of minutes and changed a few people around, they got caught napping and they're back on again now. However, Princes have now jolted back. Quick car, good spoil out wide there. Take the ball out, boys. And the ball umpire says, give it to me. And as I look over to the scoreboard there, I think I noticed the scoreboard might be incorrect, Indy, at 10-14, 3-3. I think it's 9-14 to 3-3. But having said that, the lights are on here at Brighton Oval as it's extremely dull and dark. So, tap down, taken by Rory O'Connell, gets tackled immediately, going nowhere. The umpire says, give it back to me again. We're in the scoreboard pocket, 40 metres out from the Prince's goal. They need to see if they can rebound quickly. Off the ground, quick kick. Off the ground again, quick kick. But goes to Hayden Jolly, just says, give it to me with the left foot, thanks. Umpire says there was no one in my way there, and straight through for a goal. Jolly just plays that little kick behind the play defensive position, always carrying, he's always in the play, lands into his hands, left foot, no mistake made, and there's that counter goal that they needed to do. So, good goal, and a good settler there for Princes.
Yeah, unfortunately, undoes a bit of the effort which Brighton had built up over their 3 consecutive goal streak, but it's short-lived. Simply a bit of fan service and nothing more. Now back to the actual score. But I reckon you're correct. It is 10 goals, 14. So they haven't actually added an extra goal. So it should be correct right now, as long as they don't add that extra goal. Ball thrown up in the centre square. Applying early tackling pressure, Andrew Bradley, who is a silent trooper, but an on-ball hero in his own regard.
Draper, Boyle.
And now, Harrison Boyle again. They were stopped dead in their tracks, but somehow managed to get it out goal side. Duthie sent it over to the wrong man. A bit of awkward flick action, and once again, just not quite physical enough on the tackler there. Getting some running play, almost caught with it, but that was clever. Shepherd from the teammate who was Traingrove to Charlton. A bit of build-up. The finish will be coming from Wildman if he can get it done. No, they continue to hand it off. Schultz snaps around, and it's gone a little bit wide. But once again, just too quick and too easy off a defensive 50. As soon as Prince Alfred have got the leg speed, they go, and there's no stopping them.
They hit the target so windy. They don't miss. There's no handballs to the feet. There's no handballs above their head. They hit every time.
Jarman Segal with a really nice mark there. Have to turn 360 to balance his physicality out. Now Jake Tarker stretching out. Wellesby didn't take the mark. Almost indecisive with O'Loughlin, but he's found a vacant man, but he hasn't marked it. Oh, and it hasn't set up for him either. So it's going to be locked up in the goal square. It's going to be flicked out. Prince Alfred already getting the defensive numbers around, but they're under pressure. Is that holding the ball? It is.
Miller was that man. It was by himself. It just was going over his head and he tumbled it. But they fought beautifully there to tackle.
Wow. Jared Duthie hands it off. Goes to Jared Miller to reward him for his efforts during that passage of play, and he's got it. So margin back to just 48 points now, which is still monumental, but not as catastrophic as what we saw earlier in the game. And it almost looked like it could have been a triple point blowout, but I highly doubt it at this stage. At least Brighton have built something for the fans. And, well, at this point, it's probably more fan service, but could it be the start of something?
Oh, they've been fantastic, Indy. That's a great answer. To kick 4 goals in this quarter to Prince's 2 goals. Just a comment there to Miller. A sneaky goal run around the back handball again, so that's how he's kicked his 2 goals with a handball out the back. But you know what, he's a good kick, so why wouldn't you give it to him? So it's starting in the middle. Brighton are really fighting hard in the centre square here. Draper gets up, there's Tarker again, gets his hand to Draper, gets his kick again. They've really absolutely won the centre square this quarter, have Brighton. Been a fantastic effort. William Charlie takes a strong mark. That half back line's been very good. He looks, one step, finds Andrew Bradley, strongly met by Tarker. Bradley strong hands, he looks. Where's it going? Where's it going? One step kick, short, there he is. Finds Luke McCauley. 2-step kick, short, there he is, Tozer. Looks, turns, rolls, kicks beautifully into the pocket. Good strong mark taken there. Heavy collision, met him from the side, gets the handball off to Cameron Pritchard, running past, kicks long to the goal square, and a strong mark there. To the big fellow taking the mark there. As he gets up slowly and walks back with that little limp. Is it Tozer? No, 22. Who's that? Tyson Brazel. 5'19". Strong mark, but a really good play there again. God, by foot, I can't believe how good they are by foot. Brazel needs to walk in here and just drop this through, straight in front. Kicks it well. Good goal there to Princes as they now fight back. As we said, it was 4 goals to 3, but they're still in front, Brighton. But Princes are going to do everything they can to do something about it this quarter.
Well, they're still technically losing the quarter, as far as we're concerned. It's still a 54-point margin, though. They have managed to hit back. I mean, it's an even quarter. It's just unfortunately in the context of such a nightmarish first half. It's very disappointing that we're only seeing this so late in the game. And
let's see what they do in the centre. And he's sorry to take that over. Brighton have won the last 4 clearances, so they pulled the big guns in now. Bradley's in there, Jolly's back in there. Let's see if Princes can actually correct this.
Make something out of these final minutes at least. Bradley running onto it. There's a call which will be coming back, no advantage paid. Jolly's wondering why the advantage can't be paid. Well, the umpire said it because it had to be recorrected to the mark. Riley Davis in the middle. Chips it back to Jolly, who is pretty much in the same position he was trying to play advantage from. So it gave him the short option. They're focusing on getting their deep numbers down. Running onto it, Perks, applying continuous pressure, somehow keeping it alive and working an absolute miracle. That is a miracle. Jack Traingrove, that was. He was just standing there in uncontested position in a very unlikely shot. You wouldn't expect anyone to take a ping at goal from there. That's why they left him unmanned, but only someone with his experience and class could have gotten that. And a long due second goal, because he's had a lot of score involvements up until this point, but It's been a while since he's gotten a major, not since the first quarter anyway.
And I spoke too soon again in Nick, and here I am talking about how they're winning the quarter, and now Princes are 4 goals, 2 to 4 goals, so they're back in. Sign of a good team. Yes, they had a bit of a lull there, they got jumped, but they've just turned around and said, right, let's get our best players back into the centre of the ground, let's correct this and let's start playing seriously again. Toes is back in the ball, Bradley's back on the ball, Jolly's back on the ball. Can't see who the other player is there. Up they go. Tap. Boyle, good hands again. Tarka shakes off. Handballs over the back. Boyle slips over the back to the ruckman. Draper drops it. There we go. Plenty. Left foot. Kicks long. 2 players knock it down. Great pick up there running through William Charlick. He's been good today. And again, Plenty down the wing. So stopped. What can we do? It's all about the fast movement. He knows that. So he kicks. He's a left footer and he has run straight across the ground and found Ricky O'Loughlin. Great mark, Ricky O'Loughlin. Kicks to his left. Goes out wide. Good hands. McCarthy back to Willsby. Picks it up. Strong pick up. Umpire, I reckon he's ridden him straight into the ground there with that tackle. But he says no. But a strong tackle there by the Princess boy. Willsby found it hard to get a kick today. He's been really tightly checked all day. Tap down, forward, O'Loughlin running past, picks it up, Otis Carty, just drifting across the back of the pack, picks it up, centres it perfectly to the hot spot. Players everywhere, they fumble for the ball, and Tarka's trying to stand up with it, and 2 players have said, no, you're not standing up with that ball, let's chuck it up here. We are 20 metres out, directly in front of Brighton, going down for a 5th opportunity this time, punch sideways. Bends down, Mackenzie sleeve, great hands, punches out wide. Short kick, lowers, didn't get there. Campbell Wildwin, strong hands, finds his man out wide. There's that low kick, hits a target, they're out of defence. Prince's on the half-back flank.
Opportunity looming, but still fair way from goals as we're over what looks like 26-minute mark. Andrew Bradley, a bit of kicking in danger it was, yes, in the end. Bit of a delay in the call there. Closing in quickly, but not in time, Macaulay. As Brighton continued to traverse the ground. Ricky O'Loughlin, this time he was spoiled, and spoiled very well by Charlton, who's had a pretty good game overall, I reckon. Not the major ball winner, but he is getting the defensive axe where he needs it. I'm not sure why you're pointing the 2 goal hands up, Tim, because defensive play. Winner, chicken dinner. Coming back in. Not much time left in this quarter. Cleared out. PAC. Still looking to snag another goal, but not this way. That was a number 13. That was O'Connell, who we haven't called too much today for Brighton. Now Draper kicking into the forward 50. Jared Duthie timing the jump perfectly. They've been waiting for that all day because most of the long bombs just haven't worked to advantage. But Duthie really good there.
Look at Miller.
Oh, he wanted another one. He wanted another piece of it. But I reckon this time Duthie will take the shot. Duthie still asking for it from the pocket, which would have been a less probable angle. Oh, that one didn't make the line, but it was still finished anyway because Jack Francis, unmanned, managed to just toe poke it off the deck for a late goal. And suddenly they're back in front for the quarter, obviously barring all of the contextual scoreboard damage.
That was Jack Francis. Oh, look, really well played. Man in front got the mark there. Kicked it back to the goal squares. Big spoil, big hands. Francis just reached down, picked it up and slammed it onto his boot. This is a 5-goal quarter. Fantastic play by Brighton. The call down from the bench, 1 minute 23 to go for the quarter. They are in front this quarter. It'll be a great outcome if they can get to win the quarter back into the centre. It's now turned into a fantastic quarter of footy.
Well, it's a higher pace game than that first half.
Great handball out the back there by, who was
Jolly.
that?
It was Jolly.
Yeah, he kicked it. I'm trying to figure out who handballed it to. This guy here, 31. Who's that? Riley Davis. That was fantastic. Little hands out the back there as it goes to half forward. Jolly, watch how Jolly positioning himself at the back of the pack all the time. He's just there now waiting, right? Defensive side. They know he's there, but the kick goes forward this time. Brighton player out front, picks it up cleanly. Handballs. Ricky O'Loughlin's coming to the game this quarter. Beautiful leg. He waited for that. Umpire paid it after, he kicked it anyhow, but he's hit his target. Poor old Mackenzie Darling did the short kick out wide, but he's kicked it straight to the opposition and Cameron Pritchard. With only a minute 23 to go. What's going on here? You know, he said he hit him late. Oh, he hit him after he kicked it, so he's given it back to him. Mackenzie Darling on debut, not long to go. Kicks long. And he got shut down by Pritchard there. Ran at him, caused him to screw it off the side of his boot for a point, and the ball's bounced down here. It's in the playground, so they're going to have to wait till the ball comes. Okay, so we've got Mitch Wicks has got the ball. Does he know the timeliness? Yes, the bench are yelling at him, so he's not going to go backwards and go around the outside. He's got to go long and direct. It's the only way they're going to score. Kicks long. Man in front, Spoil. Well done, Boyle. Great hands. Looks into the middle. That's a good kick. Finds Tarker. He plays on quickly. Finds O'Loughlin running. O'Loughlin out wide. Beautiful. He's come into it. Grabs the ball. Looks to the leader, Miller. A much better quarter there by Brighton. I'm pretty sure they won the quarter by kicking 5 straight goals to what I've got down as 4 goals too.
Yeah, well, where was this in the first half? That's probably the question most of those watching our coverage would be asking now, as well as those watching at the ground. But we'll be back with the last quarter after the ad break. But it's still Prince Alfred leading by a decently cosy 54-point margin. One quarter left to play out here in round 16 at Brighton Oval, where it's been Ladies' Day and it's kept the fans up and going and active, and probably more so and more energetic than the team itself. But credit to Brighton, they had a good third quarter and finally put something on the board, including 5 goals, which, well, if they just sprung that earlier in the game and did that for a 4-quarter effort, then you'd reckon that they'd be right in this game and still right in the season. It'll undo a bit of the percentage damage, but wow, a lot would have to go surprisingly right in the next 2 weeks, and their fate isn't as much in their hands anymore as, of course, Broadview and Tea Tree Gully still fighting to keep their finals positions as well. But it's 5 goals, 333, 12 goals, 1587. Tim, your word?
Oh, look, the centre, it was just simply the centre square players, the Harrison Boyles, the Dylan Drakers, the Otis Carthys, and of course Jake Tarker in the centre there. Got their hand on the ball for Brighton, got the clearances. They did really, really well. I think the rotation for Princes brought on some second centre square players, and that's where they just got on top of them. See where this takes us.
One more quarter at Brighton Oval. Watching the Adelaide Footy League live stream with Indiana Rogers and Tim Pillion. Tozer, who's been doing a fantastic job in the ruck all day. Trying to tap it on goal side, but unsuccessfully, Riley Davis. Brighton with some defensive numbers to work with if they're careful. Darling kicks out to the wider wing and finds a good option. Oh, but it's fisted out. I reckon that was Tozer who just came brushing through, and well, the run dropped off after that, but it's come forward regardless. Trying to tumble with it in hand was Francis. It comes a little further out. Oh, that's holding the ball. That's not a correct disposal. So the umpire will give it back to Prince Alfred here. Their slingshot off of halfback is incredibly deadly, and it'll be something for opposition teams to look at, but it's intercepted here. This looks like Dunning again. No, it's Finlay Bennett. Looking to go out wide. Left foot hits the pack. Reigning supreme in the pack as well was a handy teammate,
Jared Miller.
Jared Miller, who has kind of played second to Thomas Wellesby as the key forward today, and actually having a better game than Wellesby, all things considered. He's also asked for a couple of kicks on the lead before. His only goal today was actually on the lead, with the advantage paid from Jared Duthie handing it off. Jared Miller sets himself online. Steps off a little bit to get a better angle. And the launch is good. The results of it even better. 2 goals for Jared Miller, the opening goal of the 4th quarter. He's got 3 for the match, is that correct? So 3, he's actually done a better job than what we initially expected. And that actually makes him one of the leading goal kickers on the ground. He's the only one with 3+.
Great play by Brighton, a good start to the quarter. So what they did in the 3rd quarter, they're following it up again. Couple of good marks here by young Mackenzie Darling on the half-forward flank. Playing his first game for the year, or a debutant as we say, playing A-grade footy. Leads well, gets the mark, done well. Back into the centre. Even though Princes did win that centre clearance, the half-back line cleared it for Brighton. Let's go, back into the centre, the rucks. Tozer, Draper, bang. Tozer, handball, beautiful. Jolly, kicks forward. Here we go, man playing in front, leading well. Chest mark, onto the ground. Reckon that's, oh, come on, Lucas Schultz, it is. It's got up very gingerly. 1-step kick, no. 1-step kick, Jolly just floats past, sells the pup, comes back inside, punches the ball straight through the centre. Low, beautiful punching kick, and just says, well done Brighton, but we're just going to answer you every time. He just floats from behind that defensive role, everything he does, and for Brighton to let him just run around like that, not good enough. What a great goal.
A lot of the defenders, or should I say on-ballers, are actually very defensive for Prince Alfred. I reckon you could put all of Jolly and all of Bradley and all of Traingrove on a halfback flank for most of the game, and you'd still get a lot of impact because they play off of the halfback flank for most of it. They're happy to basically set up from the centre a little bit behind the ball, but sometimes on occasions like these they can also clear it out the front off of Bradley, which is a bit uncharacteristic, but it works to great effect as Garrels handed it off, found a teammate, back to Bradley, who started the play and finished it. All
right, no mucking around now. I think Princes have just gone Thanks, Brighton. You've had your turn. We're just going to finish this game off. I'm pretty sure the coach, Craig Pitters, said, boys, we just got done in that quarter. No relaxing. Let's finish the game strong as we turn into next week. Because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, Prince Alfred next week have got Glenunga. So let's finish the game strong so we've got ourselves up ready to go. 14-15, 99 to 6 goals, 339. It's a 60-point margin, which is exactly 10 goals. It's been that sort of game all day. But let's see if Brighton can really keep fighting. Tozer, Draper, Jolly, Bradley, knocked down there by Francis. I keep going the wrong side. Ricky O'Loughlin's coming to the game. Back. Left leg, tumbled forward, sitting behind the ball. That half-back line for Princes today has been really strong. Looking, going to make him kick long. No, he doesn't want to kick long. He centres the ball, goes across the centre. Even after a third chance, he's still able to hit a target going sideways on the run. They don't want to kick long. Kicks low and hard. Finds Mackenzie Slee, who's been good. That kick not as good as you want. Campbell Wildman, great pick up, Campbell Wildman, the handball. Find Matty Massine, he's got the ball under him. He's still trying to attack. He's dragged it in again. Out the back. Well done. Kicks it forward. Jack Francis has done well. Good attack on the ball there again. Princess player. Picks it up, kicks it forward. Or does he look? Yes, he does. He finds Ricky O'Loughlin out wide. He settles. Does he go long? Does he go long? It's an open goal square. He does find the goal. Well done to the Brighton players leading out of the goal square there, as his defenders all followed him. And Ricky saw that and said, well, I'm going over the top now because there's no one there. And lucky with the mud, it didn't just stick like a pot of glue. It actually skid straight through. Well done, Brighton. Good to see the fight.
Back into the middle we go after a really nice finish there from Ricky O'Loughlin, who's probably been Brighton's best today. Either him or Jared Miller, you'd say one of the two. But it's the long kicking style from Ricky O'Loughlin which stands out a lot to us. And I think as commentators, we speak less about the lower in and under disposals and more about the ones that really pop out to our eyes. And both of those players have done a good job at having involvement with important plays. One of the younger runners coming off of the Brighton bench there. Kobe Tozer. Got it forward. Came straight back out, and it was actually marked from a rush kick, so well done to Jack Francis. Best position. Kicks along the wing. Tozer with the fist, and somehow manages to land back into the lap of a Prince Alfred defender. Now Garrels. Plays on through the middle. Jolly through the corridor is always dangerous. That's a warning sign of bad things to come for the Brighton defence, but a push out. They'll get the ball back through Jarman Segal as he contemplates his options. Happy to delay. And he decided not to take the vacant man, but Tarka instead, trying to get a bit of X Factor into the match. Couldn't quite. Snapping around the body. Prince Alfred roping it back into play. Oscar Clark hands it off Jolly. Maybe a bit prematurely, but it doesn't matter because somehow they open up again. And I reckon it might even be Jaden Davis lining up for a third goal. No, it's not Jaden Davis because he's deeper down. This is, as he turns around and reveals himself, it's Lucas Schultz, who's yet to register a goal in this game. Opportunity now late as we're nearly at the 8-minute mark of the last quarter. Still plenty more football to be played in this last term, but everything pretty irrelevant to the final result, which is almost set in stone, and that is Prince Alfred a top 2 and Brighton out of the 8. That kick offline fades to the far side, and simply a minor score to register as Jack Plenty, who we haven't called too much of today, to bring it back into play.
He looks, he'll run out of the square, use his left leg. He's looking for that moving target. Here he comes, he runs to the grandstand side, takes a bounce. Oh, the ball doesn't skim back up to him, but he now gets away with it. Nice kick, long defending kick. Draper flies well. Josh Perks gets the ball, he's been told too high. Not sure about that. Not sure about that. Anyhow, that's the way it goes. Josh Perks looks, one-step kick. Nope, he's going to go long. Punches it deep into the pocket. It's a 3-on-1 there, but he finds his man. Too easy there, Brighton boys. He looks, Lucas Schultz looks into the centre of the ground, drops the ball. Oscar Clark dropped that ball, scrams it back in. The umpire says no. I'll bounce that one up. Okay, here we go. 50-metre mark out straight in front of Princes. Tapped over the back. Jack Trengove in front. Looks. Snaps it around the corner. Gets bumped as he kicked it. Good spoil by Segal. Knocks it. Still going to the boundary line. Drags it out of bounds. Umpire says chuck it in. Right in front of the cricket nets here at Brighton Oval.
So the ball retaining itself in the forward 50 for Prince Alfred for the moment. Nearing the 10-minute mark. Still a lot of time to play out, and there's actually been quite a few goals kicked, so I wouldn't be surprised if this quarter turns out a little longer than the norm. Keeping the head low there. Wildman got his ball smothered. Traingrove taking his opponent to turf. Another ball up along the arc. Lights have come on here at Brighton Oval, although the worst of the rain and the gloom has probably passed at this point. A bit of fog still in the hills. Definitely can't see the Mount Lofty Towers in the background at this stage because the clouds have come in so low that they're just really blocking that view. In the meantime, Brighton clear it. Misreading it, Bastien only got one lazy hand out and couldn't quite grab onto it, but he goes in for the tackle on Jolly, and the second effort prevailed. Bastien, well done. His forward entry's a little bit shaky, but the man and Jake Tarker are very well positioned, and he's gone back up forward after spending a lot of the match off half-back, then on ball. Now he's gone up forward to play where he kicked the match winner at this very ground only about 8 to 10 weeks ago.
Otis Carthy back here on the half-back flank. Brilliant one-handed, pushed the man off, strong, kept over the ball, got it out to his player, and then that's where it ends up in the hands of Tarker.
Finish off. He does. Simple stuff, but the small things count sometimes. Jake Tarker gets himself on the board after not spending a lot of time up there.
And not only that, when Jordan Bastian then got that ball for holding the ball in the centre, he didn't muck around. He played on quickly, he kicked the ball as fast as he can with fast movement, and he gave Tarker the one-on-one opportunity that every forward covets, is to just be able to work his man under the ball and take the mark. And a good finish. Really happy with the fact that Brighton have fought hard at this game. It was 8-0 at one stage, and the game was over, and Princes, as always do, you put the cue on the rack for a little while and have a breather. But they're back in the game now. All right, big spoil, big punch forward. Brighton out of the centre, coming wide. In front, Cameron Pritchard runs over the ball, but able to turn backwards and kick it with it. Carthy floats back with the ball again. Twice he's done that. Garrell's caught with the ball. Carthy up, looks, hands O'Loughlin. Didn't see the man come from behind. Umpire says he kicked it. Campbell Wildman looks, one-step kick on the 45 into the centre of the ground. Perks gets the ball, running past Lachlan McNamara, short, beautiful on the lead, not looking, puts his hand out, does Jaden Davis, said, no, I'm kicking this. No, he doesn't. He looks beautifully. I reckon that would be McNamara if I look correctly. Jaden Davis passes it off beautifully. That's why you don't turn your back when you take a mark. There's always someone in a better position for you. And it is 24, Josh Garrells. I get them mixed up every time.
Yeah, McNamara hasn't hit the scoreboard today, but Garrells has, just with the one goal. It's been a team effort today. They haven't really been relying on Davis to dominate. He's hit the woodwork. That'll only be a minus score, taking the margin back up to 50 points. I believe the game high was about 66 or 67. I might be wrong.
They do share the ball around, exactly what you say there, Indy. They're not scared to share it around who kicks the goals.
Jack Plenty hasn't had the best day at the office, but he decides to top it here just to get back into the action. Unfortunately, it's gone straight to Jolly because Segal was the lone man out there, and Prince Alfred with all the defensive numbers once again. They're quick to get back, they're quick to stop transition, and Wicks happy to take his time with the ball movement. They're not the fastest ball movers in the comp, but they do that in patches and spades, and that's all they really need. As that ball carries the whole journey but now it's hit the opposite post, so 2 consecutive back-to-back posters on opposite sides. Will it be plenty to kick it in again? It looks like it will, as the other long-sleeve player, Blake Higgins, just gives it back to him. So, afternoon coming to its closing stages. 14 minutes, fans and players all waiting for the match to end, and it would pretty much set the sun on the Brighton Bombers season. No finals for this team, you'd think, after the result today, unless something supernatural happens in the next couple of weeks.
Always flies.
Oh, a lot of flyers went up there. Segal the highest, but not with the mark in hand. Mackenzie Slee, shaky ball, bit of a mongrel. Almost taking it out the stretchy side was Jaden Davis, who tried to wrap it up towards the boundary side. McNamara hand passes it in just to keep the ball alive and keep it hot. Keep the Brighton defenders on their toes. It's almost a ball up. In fact, there's a bit of push and shove off play there. That was Ricky O'Loughlin, who actually swung his opponent out when he didn't have the ball. Umpire didn't say anything of it, and Garrels is asking for last touch, and it's not going to happen, although
It is.
it is. Just waiting to receive it back.
It's a direct handball, went straight out of bounds. Unfortunately missed the player, so they give that out of bounds now.
Righto.
Turns and kicks long, down the wing, pushes him to the side. Mackenzie Slee, been fantastic today. Another member of that back six that have been fantastic. Kicks inward, finds Josh Perks. Looking. It's a crowded forward line. Goes on the 45, just pokes it out wide to Tozer. Tozer's got... He's looking. Wanders out wide, just kicks long and low, and unfortunately out of bounds on the full. Kick in by the little fellow Mackenzie Darling. Tries to get him back over the mark. All the players again in this half. So this is where the game was in the first half, back in terms of Prince Alfred, playing like this. Brighton have got to open the game up again like they did before. Going to go long, just sets it up down the line. Oh, a good pack. Players at the front, players at the back. Tozer roving at the back. Campbell Wildman going. Carthy grunt, lunges and dives and grabs him and pulls him down. Pritchard looks on the left. There he is again, waiting for it. Jolly behind the ball. Beautiful hands, position. Lowers the eyes. Great kick. Finds Lachlan Charlton. Charlton looking. This will be short. Hands running past player. Just sits it up to the leading player. Doesn't find him. Man on man. Well played, Jack Plenty. Doesn't let him off the ball. And the ball out being held up. Forward pocket.
So, ball up on the Lacrosse club end pocket. As Lacrosse continues to play out in the background. It's 4 points apiece. Not sure how the scoring system of that sport works, but the one
4 goals
over there is a little bit more intense than the one in front of us at the moment. Kicking towards the middle, spacing it out. Charlton made Mackenzie Slee work for that one, and he just had no chance of getting onto it. Finlay Bennett.
That was completely smothered and touched, but the umpires called that a mark, so...
Yeah, didn't notice that one. Oh, it's come through a set of hands. That's dangerous. Don't let it slip through your hands. Coming back to the boundary line. Don't give me that look, Tim. I know it wasn't my finest work, but it's not the finest work here either, as Mackenzie Slee's forced to play on quickly. Played it safe, got it to McNamara, who's had a good game, not his best, but has just been a part of a lot of score chains without scoring a goal himself. Jolly slots it in. Shane Grove. Oh, it's a fancy pickup. That's Don't again. Snapped around. But this time it comes out the wrong way. Macaulay kicks back into the middle. Charlton. McNamara. Jolly. Centers up to half forward. A couple crummers loom, but it's come out the wrong way. Lloyd going long ways. That's a very good kick, but the defensive effort was better. That intent in the last quarter speaks volumes, and take a bow there, Charlie. That was a great defensive act. Once again, Loy Forced to work under a bit of pressure. Ricky O'Loughlin, known for his long kicks, once again hits a target lace out. He's been really good today. Not beanie worthy, but definitely one of the better players. Of course, we won't reveal our best players on air, as we're not permitted to do so anymore. There's a pushing infringement. Prince Alfred will get it back. A lot of the scoring momentum from earlier in this quarter has just halted up a bit as we've gone to the 19-minute mark. Not much time left in this quarter. Kicks into the middle. Garrels. Doesn't have an empty corridor, but he has an empty Jack Trango to kick to, who's also had a good game. Goes long. Marking it in the one-on-one. Campbell Wildman. And shipping it off to... They had the advantage in numbers in the forward line, so it didn't really matter who they chose. It was 2-on-1 down there, and once again, everything just opening up from the defensive half. Prince Alfred out-running, out-positioning their opposition, and even trying to play man-on-man to control things just doesn't work when they have so many brilliant finishers and ball users. It's really difficult to position well for that. Jaden Davis looking for goal number 3. He's yet to hit that for the match. Still the leading goal kicker in the Adelaide Footy League, though. Not as strong as some of the other leading goal kickers from the lower divisions, but ultimately, if you're the number 1, that's enough that you take on your own. And he's doing it in the big time as well. Good luck trying to catch up with him. He's the leading goal kicker this year with his signature all over the Sharon.
Yeah, nice switching. Again, by foot. I just can't stop saying it, how by foot Prince Alfred are going at such a high percentage with regards to hitting their targets, for what do you call that, conversion. So Hayden Jolly this quarter in the last second half has been fantastic, the way he just sits behind the ball. They all know he's there. If they get in trouble, they just look backwards and hit him up in the centre of the ground. And he by foot hits the target every time as well. All right, ball thrown up. Toes has been good today. Tapping the ball down. Quick flick out. Ricky O'Loughlin, quick flick out again. Tarker's back in the middle. Tarker slings him around, throws him around. Carty's been good this quarter. Back to O'Loughlin. Oh, good chase. Good hands. Perks. Looks. Look at that. Just misses. But was out in front of him. Gave him every chance. The young fella in Rory O'Connell grabs the ball, gets held up. Good to see. Half forward flank. Prince is going into attack. They get back. Carthy got the hands out. No, tackled. Ball hits the ground. Umpire letting it go. Hands out the back. Hands out the back. Turns onto the left. Kicks it in, but not a bad kick that. Mackenzie Slee's been fantastic today. Runs again with his speed. Kicks it out the front and just finds Andrew Bradley. Oh, that is just fantastic play. Well done, Mackenzie Slee, with that pace. Pushed off his man. And Bradley playing up forward. Absolutely fantastic. Already kicked 1 goal today. Lining up, 20 metres out, straight in front. Stays over the ball. Umpire doesn't move. Bradley kicks a goal. That's his second. Takes the scoreboard on to 16 goals, 18, Prince Alfred College. To Brighton, 8 goals, 3. 34 scoring shots to 11. That is the story of the game. If they had kicked straight, this score could have been anything. They have missed a few easy shots today, or they've just not done it the way they should have. But this has been a very, very strong performance. 8 goals to 0 in the first half, and it's now 8 goals to 8 in the second half, which is a much better showing for Brighton in the second half, which is what they can take away from the game. But Prince has had this locked up a long time ago. Ball has snuck under the car park. It's been kicked back sideways by someone. It's gone into the cricket nets. The umpires are just chasing the ball now and bringing it back as we have a much-loved breather. Brighton are starting with the spare man behind the ball again, which is what they did from half-time, or second quarter, should I say. So that's probably where they've loosened up a little bit, but it still leaves a loose man in the back for Princes as well, which is where they've cleaned up all day.
3 minutes 47 left on the clock. That's the word we have. And that clock will resume ticking down to the final stages of the game that will probably put Brighton's season to rest and the next 2 weeks will have to be a showcase of what they can offer next year, because they'll be in Div 1 next year. We know what their best is capable of, and there'll be plenty of room for improvement. The type of additions they make over the off-season will be crucial, and, well, I'd even be asking the groundskeepers to also just look at the quality of that turf and say, let's be a little bit fair on our players and give them a nice place to be playing their home games. But the grandstand here is fantastic, so that is something that they have on their side. Really great supporters, fans, and a really great venue to come back up into when the game is all finished, which they'd be looking forward to tonight, of course. Brighton are celebrating their Ladies' Day, and this man could be celebrating his 4th goal. Jaden Davis hasn't taken the game by storm like he has in some other matches this year, but he's been one of the most consistent key forwards. He won't kick a bag of 10 every day, but he'll be the consistent 3-4 goal kicker week in, week out.
"40 out, Jaden Davis, lining up for his 4th goal. Goes out, just a little bit of a prop to the left there to hook the leg around to make the extra yardage. Bit of mucking around on the goal line there by a couple of players. Push the Brighton players out the way so they couldn't touch it on the line, and he slots it through for his 4th with a late flourish. 4 goals, Jaden Davis, well played. 17-18, 120 to 8 goals, 351. We're in the dying stages of this game. The players look tired. The second half was a lot better than the first half was. There was a lot more energy in the second half, a lot more open. The game was faster, the game was played. It was really defensive in the first half. But let's see how we go. Toes has been good in the ruck as he jumps. Riley Davis has been good in the middle there for Princes. He goes out the back. Over the beautiful left foot there, finds on the hands, running past to his left hand side, Finlay Bennett. He's usually a good left foot, kicks it wide. And of course Tom Sumner's just going to let that roll out of bounds. Goes short on the 5. Finds Campbell Wildman. Wildman looks inward, short on the 45. Carthy picks his pocket. Goes in with the one hand, takes it on the second, grab it to mark, umpire. Why isn't that paid? What didn't he see there? He picked his pocket. Again, saw the short chip going through, waited, timed his run, got his hands to it. Umpire says, nope, reckon the other guy got his hands to it first. Quick kick out of the pack. 2 players there, said, you take it, I'll have it, you take it, I'll have it. And Mitch Wicks takes the mark. Short and wide. Longer down the line. Pulls it in one-handed there, Lockie Charlton again. Handballs over at the front. Good spoil. There's a runner here. Oh no. Andrew Bradley just chips it over. And once again, running player forward. Takes a mark, 30 metres out. Oh, they run to space. Find a number for me there, Indy.
I reckon that is Oscar Clark.
It is Oscar Clark. It's
he kicked 2 goals early in the game, but hasn't had too much impact since. I reckon it's been the even distribution of Prince Alfred's goal kickers where they realise, you know what, if we go to Oscar Clark all game, opposition will get a read on that and they'll be able to isolate that matchup. But Clark has done the team thing and realised that I can't be the number 1 man in every contest, and he can't be the man here for the set shot. He does miss to the near side, taking the margin up to 70 points. 8 goals 3, 17 goals 19.
Jack Plenty nearly turned that over directly straight in front of goal in the dying seconds of this match, but he managed to get it back. So they're switching it around now. He goes back Plenty, switches it to the other side, opening the game up. But if you're switching the ball, you've got to keep going, son. Don't hold it back. Turned it over. Little fella Mackenzie Darling gets the ball, switches it back again, hits the ground, stay over the ball. Here we go, last shot on goal. He runs, he looks straight at it. And with the turnover, he kicks the goal. Well played. That was Riley Davis. And he's been very good today, Riley Davis. In the trenches, down low, as you say, Indy, all those little balls you see underneath to the hands, getting it out to the blokes to kick it. He's been one of those all day. He's been very good. 18-19, 127 to 8 goals 3. I think we're right on time right now. Big finish.
In the longest quarter of the game, we're 28 and a half minutes in, and that's what happens when the game increases in pace and it becomes a bit higher scoring. it opens up the opportunity for the game to really drag on. It's actually to the dismay of both the winning and losing team, particularly when the result is already set in place. The defensive play drops off and suddenly it feels like you're putting in less effort, but it feels like you're putting in more because it's a longer quarter. Just a bit of on-ball action here. Carthy, who been down on his best today. Here's Jolly. He's been pretty much right up to standard with his best. And so are Prince Alfred as a collective team. They finish the match 76-point winners and are looking very convincing ahead of finals, which will commence in a couple weeks' time as the sun sets on the Brighton Bombers season. 6 wins, 9 losses on the ladder. The focus will be devoted towards next year and experimenting. They made as much as they could out of a bad situation, the personnel missing, but Tim, it's not just about the personnel, it's also about the system and the structure, which looked all right in the second half, but in the first half was just very absent.
Well, something changed in the second half, so well done to Brett Backwell on the Brighton side, because there was 0 goals at half-time, and they've come out and kicked 8 goals in a half, although Prince Alfred kicked 10 goals in the second half as the two coaches come together with a handball to shake hands and talk about the game. But look, if I can just talk to the goal kickers, Prince Alfred ran away with the 18 goals. He got Judge with 4, 2 to Oscar Clark, 2 to Jack Tringo, 2 to Tyson Brazel, who I think was off in the last quarter with an ankle, 2 to Andrew Bradley, 2 to Hayden Jolly, 1 each to Davis, Garrels, Perks and Macaulay. And for Brighton, we had the Jared Miller with the 3 goals, Ricky O'Loughlin with 2 goals, and singles to Taka, Francis and Bastions. Look, better players. Brighton didn't have anyone in the first half, did they? They really didn't have any of the ball, but they came into the second half with, you know, some players like Carthy came into the game. Taka got plenty of the game. Plenty got lots of kicks, but count the 19 kick-ins from fullback as well. Jack Francis was fantastic, I thought, for Brighton around the ball all day. Dylan Draker tried hard in the ruck. And your better players for Prince Alfred?
Well, I'm not going to go over the better players for Prince Alfred or either of the teams because we keep our best players discreet at this stage and we don't want to hint too much about who those contenders will be. We mentioned throughout the day, of course, who some of our favourites and standouts are, but for the sake of the role of the Dice Media Player of the Year award, we will not be announcing our 3-2-1 or our BOG. We will instead be doing that undercover, and with 2 weeks to go, you will find out the result of the Roll of the Dice Media Player of the Year award very soon. So stay tuned and keep up to date with the next 2 final rounds of the Adelaide Footy League in Division 1. It's really cranking up and getting exciting. But Tim and I are going to wrap up here. Tim, thank you very much. Thank you very much to Barnabas as well, our cameraman and producer for the day. And thank you to all tuning into our live stream as well as our sponsors, the Banner Crew, Archie Thongs, Dartfish, Roll the Dice, Farmers Leap, Sportle, our official scoreboard sponsor, and of course the Adelaide Footy League for making this coverage possible. We hope to bring you the best coverage possible in the future as well, and always look for ways to improve on our own personal performances. So feel free to not only tune into the other live streams, because remember the Adelaide Footy League live streams all 5 of their home and away matches each week, every week, for you and for the people as well. Thank you very much to all involved with the game, and stay tuned. Finals is coming up just around the corner.